morning, you wonderful people. Good morning, Adam.
Hi, Bex. How you doing?
Very well, are you? Yeah, let's have a little...
Let's have a little hug. Why not?
It's always nice to get a hug, isn't it? Good morning, Stuart, who's out in the shed out there. But most importantly, good morning to all you lovely people. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here in the nursery, 10 o'clock. We're going to be here until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Lots of new things to show you. We've got some gorgeous canna lilies to show you. Some individuals. We've got a collection of canna lilies over there as well. We've got a brand new free gift for today.
We have, yes.
In actual fact. What's this one, Adam?
Rose booster. This is going to... Well, your roses are going to be brilliant anyway, but now they're going to be like mammothly brilliant. They're going to be incredibly brilliant because this is a feed that's just going to give roses everything they require, and not just roses. You can use it on other flowering shrubs as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that because obviously not everybody has roses in their garden, but this free gift is going to be able to be used for lots of other things.
Yeah, lots of shrubs. It's like tomato feed. You know, you don't just use it for tomatoes. You can use it on all sorts of different plants. I mean, this has got the trace elements, the main elements, so you know it will make your roses bloom fantastically well. But no reason you can't use it on your acers, for example, or your weigelias or any other shrub. Amazing.
Well, it is a free gift with every single purchase that you make today and for the rest of the week. It's normally worth £4.99. It's a 100-gram sachet. What I didn't look was how much it will make. 25 feeds, apparently. Based on what, sorry? 30 grams per plant. Oh, very good. So we've got a really good amount of feed in there. It's £4.99 normally. You only need to use it on your roses once a year. This isn't like the blooming fast that you're going to feed on a weekly basis. It is just an annual feed when it comes to your roses. But let's face it, it's an absolute free gift with every single purchase that you make, worth £4.99. And as Adam said, not just for use on your roses, you can use it on lots of other things. How do I get my free gift? Well, you make a purchase, first of all, but when you make your purchase, there is a little box on the website where you place your order, and it says to you, do you have an offer code? The answer to that is always yes, you do have an offer code. It's a brand new one for this week. The code is YGTV2524. If you place that into your order bit, when you place your order, we will put that free gift into your basket. But that code also unlocks all of the other deals that we've got.
It does, yeah.
So pretty much everything has a saving on it. It'll unlock that saving. There's loads of items with double up deals. We've got buy one get two free. We've got buy one get one free. We've also got a free postage offer as well. All of this is unlocked with that free code. Free postage happens when you get your order to over £40. Very simple to do. Add some compost in. It's very easy to do, honestly. If you don't get to over 40, we do still have a postage incentive for you, which is that you'll only pay one postage cost. So even if you've got 5, 6 items in your basket, all of which have a postage attachment to them, you'll only pay that postage once. Just always remember, please, it's all about that magic key code. YGTV2524 is the offer for today. Have you all been enjoying the little bit warmer weather?
Oh, thank goodness.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, and I went on the BBC Outlook this morning. Oh my goodness me.
It's looking good, isn't it?
It's the best I've seen for months. For 10 days ahead, there was no rain, and some days had just the yellow sun symbol for the whole day. No cloud. It's like, yay! At last.
I'm very excited about
so
it
good.
Because there's so many things just... all my lilies, the buds are there, they're waiting to open. My dahlias, the buds are there, they're waiting to open. And I think this burst of sunshine that we're about to get is just going to give them what they need.
Yeah, because the good thing is we've got the moisture in the ground. You know, we've had so much rain. So we've got the moisture. We just need the warmth now. And, you know, and with these super long days, you know, oh, goodness me, everything's just going to romp away now. And, you know, by the end of June, July, finally all our beds and borders, those herbaceous borders, are all going to be bursting out into colour.
So exciting,
it's going to be good.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, a couple of other things. YGTV@YouGarden.com. That is our email address. I have the iPad. I am ready and waiting. I'm waiting for all your pictures. Tony, I've received your pictures. We will come to those. I know we didn't get to show them on Sunday. We're going to get to have a little look at those for you today. The other reason I want you to email in is that we've got a special visitor tomorrow. We're going to be rolling out the red carpet. Our head gardener, Peter, is going to be here in the potting shed. We are going to start a little bit earlier tomorrow, so I'll keep reminding you throughout the show today. We're going to start at 9:30 tomorrow morning, so if you can come and join us just that little bit earlier, we would very much appreciate it. If you've got any questions that you want to ask the head gardener, get them in now. We will collate all of those and we will put those questions to him when he's here in the potting shed tomorrow morning. So good morning to everybody that is watching. Roger, good morning to you. Philip, you're on Facebook, good morning to you as well. He's looking forward to this sunny Wednesday. And Dingo apparently has received some more deliveries as well. Let me just have a quick look on YouTube if it loads. Have we got anybody in the chat yet? Yes, we have. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Elaine. That's it on there for the time being. But put your comments in here on YouTube and on Facebook, and also send us your emails to ygtv@yougarden.com, and we'll get to show all your pictures that you send us. Right, we're going to go over to the canna lilies. Yes, this way. We're going to start off with the canna lily collection. I'm very excited about this. We've been out on the nursery a few times doing a bit of filming, and we keep seeing these, and they are so beautiful. They look so tropical. The colours are so vibrant. And what our wonderful commercial team have done is that they've put together this beautiful collection, and I just think it works so well together, doesn't it?
Yeah, Bex, these are such hot summer colours.
Aren't
Yeah, they just bring
Look
that
at that.
touch of exotic to your garden. They bring that touch of the tropical to your garden, and not just the flowers. I mean, even the foliage on these is incredible too, with that sort of chocolatey coloured foliage. But even the one that's just got the green foliage, I love those kind of almost like banana leaf kind of, you know, like leaves starting to develop on there. I mean, look at the colour on that one. I mean, that's sort of...
I love that outline,
yeah,
that yellow outline that you've got to the edges of those petals.
Isn't it
really
beautiful?
Sort of sets it on fire, doesn't it?
Absolutely stunning.
And
really,
that one
really
that's
stunning.
just about to open. You can see the buds on there. That's going to be a glorious pink colour, isn't
That's
it?
my fave, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I really do like that one. I love that colour. But yeah, all three of these colours go together so well. So if you want to create one of those, like they call hot borders, with all those sort of reds and oranges and yellows and pinks and those hot colours, these are just going to be magnificent.
So for anyone that's not grown cannas before, what kind of height, what kind of size are these going to get to?
Cannas generally get to sort of about a metre, sort of, you know, thereabouts a metre tall, perhaps a little bit taller. What they actually like is sun. They like a nice sunny, bright position. They like moisture around the roots. And these ones, I said this the other week and I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure because I've done my homework. I think these do have the lifetime hardy guarantee.
Oh,
if Stu says no, Moya, like I'll be shamed. But well, unless I'm getting confused with the others, but I'm pretty sure these
We'll have a little look.
Even though they do originate from South America cannas, that's where they come from. That's where, yeah, I thought they were winter hardy. These are winter hardy, which is amazing, really, because when you look at these and you think how exotic and tropical they look, they will get through British winters. They might need a little bit of help, but they are winter hardy. So that means you've got that lifetime guarantee for these. So if you want to try, I was going to say hostas, I don't know why, cannas. If you want to try cannas, and you can grow these in pots, you can grow them in beds and borders. But as I say, if you're going to grow them in beds and borders, grow them in that really nice sunny position, that bright position. And you can grow them with other sort of fantastic summer plants. I mean, for instance, we had the Fire Queen geraniums, those lovely bright red geraniums. They would look nice with these as well.
Definitely.
Keeping all those...
Like you say, that hot colour
scheme.
scheme.
Keeping all those hot colours together. They do fantastically well in pots and containers. So if you do live in a really super cold area, you can just bring them in somewhere for the winter. You don't have to keep them warm, just keep them from the really extreme frosts. But these are going to give drama, they're going to give colour, they're going to give months and months of interest. And they do keep going right the way up until the frost.
So we're going to get flowers on here from now, as we can see, because they're in flower, they're in bud. So once we get them home and we get them planted, they will flower now, and then they're going to keep flowering for us.
Yeah, I mean...
I think the trick with this is not to deadhead, though, isn't it? Because the new flower comes through where the old flower is faded.
Yeah, they kind of they kind of just send up a massive flower spikes from sort of that one point.
Yeah.
But these ones, you know, are not so super tall this year because obviously, you know, these are young plants. But you know, this year these will probably get to about 18 inches or so, perhaps a couple of feet. And then next year, once they become established, then you know they'll get taller. And also, what you can find with cannas as well is that rather than just one trunk on this or one stem, they become multi-stem. They become, you know, perhaps 5 or 6 stems. They form a nice little clump that will really send up all those different stems and give you these just dramatic, explosive, hot colours for, you know, such a long time, and just create that real drama.
I love them, and they have appeared on our favourites table. It's the start of the week, so we've put out what we think is going to be your favourites. This is what we've selected. We think these are going to be super popular. I definitely agree with this on the canna lilies, because you've got 3 glorious colours in here. Look at the health of these plants. Look how strong those roots are. They're absolutely raring to grow. And of course, we've got a half-price deal on the screen for you. These should be £29.97, but right now we are saving £15, and they're £14.97. On the web, by the way, if you're shopping on the web, they're £19.99. You've still got an extra £5 off that by shopping with us directly here at YGTV. Look, one in the basket, £19.97. All we need to do now is put in our offer code, YGTV2524. We know we've got our offer code in there because the free gift has appeared, and also you can see that extra £5 saving on that one. We're still paying postage on this order, but we've only just started. We need to show you some other things so that you can add some more stuff into your basket so that you can then get your order to over £40 and get that free postage. Right, we are going to look next at the Helenium. I adore Helenium. I think these are really valuable when it comes to sort of planning your colours throughout the year, giving you that later colour in the garden.
Yeah, whenever we plant, you say Helenium, I say Helenium. we do this all the time, don't we?
Tomato.
But yeah, Clematis, Clematis.
Exactly.
We do it all the time. Yeah, Helenium, I mean, when I plant Heleniums, and I've planted a lot of Heleniums over the years, Moorheim Beauty is really the only one I go for.
Is it?
I can't really think of many other kind of varieties. Moorheim Beauty is the go-to Helenium for mid to late summer colour. That's what's fabulous about these. Again, I mean, think about these with the cannas, because you've got these hot colours again. I mean, these would really pick up with the canna colours as well. I love the way
those petals reflex as well.
They're great, aren't they?
And they make that button in the centre just stand up so proud. And obviously then you've got that gorgeous landing pad for all those pollinators. That yellow that's formed around there, that's the pollen, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's just a globe of pollen there.
It starts brown and then the yellow starts to appear.
The little kind of, the little sort of pollen grains sort of pop out, they explode, and then you're covered in pollen. Obviously, there's nectar in there as well that, is attracting the bees in, and then, the bees get covered in this pollen and off they go to another Helenium and brush the pollen onto that one, and hey-ho, pollination takes place. And
so clever, isn't it?
Yeah, and, that's the way nature works. But these are lovely upright flower stems, just those really sort of lovely, sort of deep, sort of red colours
as well, don't they?
Yeah, these were. I mean, generally, I'm trying to think when I've sort of cut customers' gardens we've grown these in. They sort of get to sort of about knee height, sometimes heading up to sort of waist height, really.
Yeah, I think they can get to a couple of feet, can't they?
Yeah.
At least?
Oh, again, look at that, Bex. Fantastic root system, and what they do as well, they form a really nice clump as the years go by. After 2 or 3 years, you might get like 10, 15 stems coming up from that one clump.
Yeah, if you look at that one, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 stems coming out of that one right now. So you're going to get even more, and then be able to divide.
And you can see last year there was just one. There was just the one stem. That last year that was the stem where the plant was started off, and that obviously that died last autumn, was cut down. This year in its second year,
1, 2,
it's
3,
producing
4,
5. Probably next
6.
year. Yeah,
I keep finding one.
Yeah, well, next year it'll probably be double that. It'll probably be 10 stems. So they make these great clumps. They've got these nice, strong, upright, sturdy stems, and they'll start flowering for you from about midsummer. In fact, you can. Yeah,
I feel like that might be a bud.
Yeah, I think there's flower buds. There will be some flower buds coming on these.
You'll definitely get flowers this year.
Yeah, there's flower buds on that, because you can feel just the bud in the middle there when you squeeze the top of that. So there's little flower buds. Hey, look, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah, it's like, let's see if I'm going to move that.
Oh no, you always move that board.
I always move that, don't I? Because that.
Get rid of that board.
Always gets in my way. Yeah, there we go. I know Stu will get this. There it is.
He's very good at this. Yeah, look, buds there, ready to burst into bloom for you. As we say, it's about that late season colour as well, isn't it?
If I put it against my shirt,
because these will start, as you say, July time?
Yeah, about July time, there we go.
About July time. But they're going to keep going for you August and even into September and October, aren't they?
Right, there we go. Look at that. You can see that lovely little bud there. But anyway, we got it. You know what we meant. So
it's there. We can
it's there. We got it. But yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about these. These are midsummer flowering perennials. They'll go right up into the autumn and just give you that colour. They're okay in full sun. They don't have to have full sun all day, but full sun, dappled shade. Not particularly fussed about soils.
Yeah.
Bone hardy, will come up year after year after year. And they're one of those lovely perennials that look so joyful, so colourful. But you don't have to do anything with them.
No.
There's no fiddle or fuss or anything. I mean, you could deadhead them if you want to, but we don't even deadhead them really. They just leave them to do their thing. At the end of the year, you can just leave them to die down. You can cut the foliage down in the autumn if you want, or leave it through till the spring, and then cut it down to about a couple of inches above the ground. And sort of end of March, April, you'll see lots of lovely little shoots come up. And next year they'll do it all over again, but probably double the size that they are this year. Well,
it's an amazing deal that you got here. The last one I said was half price. This one's even better than half price. We've got a massive £18 saving on this one. It's just £11.97. You are going to get all 3 of those 9cm pots, the perfect number. We love planting in odd numbers, don't we? And that's exactly what you're getting here. 560901 is the item number if you'd like to go for your Helenium, the Moorheim Beauty. Next up, we have got something that every garden needs. Every garden, no matter what you're doing, whether you're planting into hanging baskets, whether you're filling some gaps in your borders, whether you're like Adam and you don't like to see any inch of soil showing whatsoever.
Stand dead opposite here.
Oh, the blue.
you are Mrs. Lobelia.
I have worn the perfect colour, haven't I? It's a gorgeous.
You are this Lobelia blue. Yeah.
I adore lobelia, and I adore lobelia planted just on its own. I mean, I have used it as a bit of a filler this year, so it's a filler in my hanging basket. I've used it around my pots around the front door. But last year what I did was I just planted pots of lobelia on their own. In fact, I've got a couple of pots that need filling. I might just do it with lobelia. Because it planted on its own in a pot, honestly, it is the most glorious thing that you will plant, that will flower all summer long, that needs absolutely no care and attention from you, no deadheading at all, just a bit of watering. I mean, to be honest, you don't even need to feed lobelia. Lobelia will just do its thing. You don't.
And the weird thing is, Betsy, is I think I told this story before. Well, I told all the stories before. I'll just bore you to death. But I was doing the video for somebody last year, and I bought a little pack of lobelia, and I didn't know what to do with them afterwards. So I had a little terracotta pot, and I just put these 5 or 6 lobelia in this pot. And they just flowered their socks off all summer long. And this little bowl of lobelia gave me so much joy and so much pleasure.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah,
it was the best. So that it wasn't the best. It was right up there. If I think the top 5 items I had in my garden last year, the pots that I did just simply filled with lobelia, they're definitely in that top 5. They were so pretty.
And it's weird, isn't it? Because sometimes you get it in your head that a certain plant is always just for a certain thing. Like, you always think lobelia, always a filler, always, put in your hanging baskets, you squeeze in between all those other plants to fill a gap. You never think about planting lobelia on its own. And suddenly when you do, and you think, you know what? That just stands alone beautifully on its own. It looks stunning.
Really does. But of course, you can still use it as that filler if you want to, in your hanging baskets, in your pots, if you've got any gaps in your borders. Now's the time to fill those, and you can do this with the lobelia. Stu, were you saying there's something amazing with the price here? Have we dropped it even more? Yeah, I think we were £8.99 last week for 10 garden-ready plants, and actually it's £9.99 this week for 20 of those. £8.99 if you are in the club as well. Saving nearly £16 here. This is the time to grab hold of these. I think we're looking at our borders now, aren't we? And we're working out where those gaps are. You might still have a few pots left over. In fact, I've got about 4 around the side of my house that had all my tulips in. I need to do something with those pots. I could put lobelia in there, and this crystal Palace blue, this beautiful blue colour, is just going to be stunning. All summer long.
I'll tell you what, another thing about these Becks as well, look at the foliage. The foliage is actually sort of double coloured as well, because the new foliage is this lovely kind of bronzy kind of brown colour before it kind of turns to the green underneath, and the blue against that bronze. Oh, that suits you, sir, doesn't it? I mean,
suits
you, sir. That's gorgeous.
Absolutely
lovely.
Beautiful. 410069 is the item number if you would like to go for the lobelia Crystal Palace blue. That's an absolutely amazing price. £8.99 if you are in our discount club. For anybody that's new that's watching, that doesn't know about our discount club,
excuse me.
You carry on, darling, don't worry. You need to join our discount club, because what what you would get from this is 10% every time you place an order, 10% discount. It costs just £5 to join. Go for the one in green. Go for the £5 one. It's an auto renewal, but you can cancel that renewal. We're not trying to lock you into anything you don't want to be a part of, so you can cancel it. It's not an issue. If you go for the £10 one, it's a one-year membership and it will lapse at the end of that. But this is why we're saying to go for the £5 one, because it will always be £5 when it renews every single year. As long as you don't let it lapse, it will always renew at £5, even if we put the price of the club up. £5 for 12 months, and what it gives you is £10 off every single plant and accessory order. So everything we bring you in the potting shed, all the pots, all the plants, all the compost, 10% every time you place an order. You get 5% off our outdoor living and gifts and things, because you can go and shop the entire website. It's not just the stuff we bring you on our YGTV shows. You get £20 of YouGarden vouchers to use throughout the year. It breaks down as £5 every 3 months. It all comes out to you in the welcome pack that's sent, but you can join today. There's an option when you place your order. It says, do you want to join the club? Yes, you do. You can start saving from your first order, and then the welcome pack will come out to you in the post. It's a brilliant club. I've saved a fortune. All of our members have saved so much money by being part of that club. You'll make that £5 back probably within your first order. If not in your first one, certainly in your second and your third one. And then from that point on, your quid's in, basically. For the rest of the year, you are going to be saving money right the way from now up until the 19th of June next year. Yeah, honestly, it's so amazing, the savings. Right, I just want to say hello to Alison. Alison sent a question in. Alison, good morning to you. Please, can I ask you, is it too late to plant the free double freesia bulbs?
No.
It's never too late. Always give it a go, because they're better in the ground than they are in the bag. Right.
What I would do, though, I would just soak them for 24 hours in water, obviously, yeah, just to plump the bulbs up a little bit, hydrate them, and that will give them, you know, a bit of a quicker start. But yeah, you could plant them now. If you plant them now, I would say you'll start to see them actually come through by about the middle of July, and I think you'll probably get them flowering the end of July, beginning of August.
Oh, exciting. All right, so that's your job for this afternoon. Get out there, get them planted. Why not? Give it a go. Right, we'll come back to some more emails and comments and pictures. Lawrence, I know you've sent me some pictures of roses, which is very apt considering today's free gift is our rose booster. It works on everything. You can use this as a feed for, you know, all the plants in your garden, but if you do have roses, this is going to be amazing for them, isn't it?
And I noticed the mycorrhizal fungi in there as well, which is fantastic, because that creates that helps your plant create a root system that then connects to the rest of the, I don't know, life under the soil.
The ecosystem.
Ecosystem, yeah. It helps it to hook in to all those nutrients and stuff. And that actual mycorrhizal type of fungi, it actually really increases the ability of a plant to absorb moisture, to absorb nutrients, and just give it so much more energy and vitality and help it to establish.
And it's natural as well, isn't it? It's an organic feed.
It is natural.
Like there's nothing damaging in here to us or to pets or anything.
Important thing to do when you use mycorrhizal fungi is to make sure it's always in contact with the roots. So what I kind of like to do is sprinkle it over the root first before sort of planting it. That's just when it's on its own. Don't do that with this actual feed. But yeah, that's what you do if you were just buying it separately.
Yeah. Well, it is a free gift, by the way. So free gift with every single purchase. Just put the code in YGTV2524. That will automatically go into your basket, and it's one per order, not one per customer. So if you place multiple orders, you'll get multiple bags of this. We need to do a little shout out to Gary, who's watching. Where is he watching? Do you know? Is it website, Facebook, or... Oh, he's watching via the website. Big hello to Gary. He's a big fan of the show, so thank you for tuning in. Let's move on to our next item, shall we? We're going to get a rigger on. And we're going to move on to our irrigaron. This is something that I have got... I mean, surely... You've got this somewhere in your garden.
We've got it everywhere in our garden.
I love it.
We've got it everywhere in our front garden because this.
It's in every border.
Yeah, it does. This is a stunning plant. It's become so popular in recent years. Erigeron kavinskianus, or fleabane, is its common name, and it is such a happy, dainty, easy, cheerful plant.
Super tough, hardy as well. Like you don't. honestly, this will survive anything.
Yeah, it does, and it seeds about all over the place, but in a really joyful way. My husband John's got it in our front garden, and it's now kind of. In fact, that's what I did because we'll probably have this on Sunday. I'll take some pics because we've got block paving, so it's seeded itself into the block paving. It's coming up at the base of the house, between the house and the block paving, which is lovely because where nothing else will grow, this grows, and it's created this little border of lovely daisy-like flowers that just keep going and going and going.
And it's easy to manage as well, isn't it?
You can clip it back.
It spreads beautifully. It creates a gorgeous carpet, but if it gets too big, I'm going to use this word, hack it back.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about pruning it and trimming it. You can hack it back.
You can.
To whatever size you want it to be.
Because it comes
fine.
from one stem. So what we tend to do is just sort of just group the whole thing up and then just snip across the top like, cutting a fringe kind of thing, and then let it drop down again, and you've kind of controlled it. But it's like a bit like forget-me-not. So once you've got them forever, and next year you'll get new seedlings come up. But, in a joyful way, in a good way, because it seems to be the type of plant that will establish itself where other things don't want to be, or you can't get other things to grow. So that little sad bit of concrete with a crack in it, that little bit of bare patio that you don't use, and places like that, you'll just see this pop up and it will form this little carpet, and it gets about 5-6 inches tall.
Yeah,
it's really,
not massive
really
at all.
quite low, and it's got this great habit when the flowers first come out. They're that kind of deep sort of purpley pink colour, and then as they mature, they get to that sort of white colour.
So you've got the two colours on at the same
time,
It's
which is lovely.
Such a beautiful, versatile, easy to grow plant, and it's in every one of my everyone, like I've got loads. Oh yes, my mansion. In my three
it's
big
in the jewel garden, it's in the writer's garden, it's in the...
It's in all three borders, and obviously all three borders have very different aspects to them. It grows beautifully in all three of them. So the one that's really shady, fine. The one that's really sunny, fine. The one that's the mixture of sun and shade, absolutely fine. This thing really doesn't care where you put it, but it is going to fill your garden with joy, basically, with those beautiful colour-changing daisy flowers. 3 9-centimetre pots included in there for you. Huge saving on this one. We've taken £20 off the price, 19.98 should I say, and it's just £9.99. Really nice root structure under there, loads and loads of roots going in there. Look.
That's good.
Honestly, raring to grow. Get that in your garden. You will not be sorry for planting erigeron in your garden. If you haven't got it already, look, can you see? There's buds on there now. You'll get a really beautiful display from these. Now, question, how far apart should we plant them? These are going to spread, so you definitely don't want to plant them too close together,
I'd put them a couple of feet apart, to be honest. A good 18 inches, 2 foot apart.
I mean, they won't fill that this year, will they? But they'll grow quite quick.
Yeah, they will kind of start to go for it, and then then they start to seed about, and you get lots of extra little plants that you can transplant and move about all over the garden. But yeah, this is just such a really happy doer, such a really easy, simple plant to grow, and just you don't even deadhead this one. It just flowers for month after month after month after month.
I don't touch it. I just leave it. The only time I touch it is if I feel like it's just encroaching a little bit on something else, and then I just hack the edge off, and then it's fine. Yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah, it is and so many people have this now because it is just one of those easy, happy little plants that just grows no matter what happens.
So rockeries, edges of borders, filling in gaps. You could even plant it just in a pot of this. Yeah, a lovely sort of 30-centimetre pot of this. Just colour all summer long.
I'm actually quite liking the lobelia and the erigeron together. I'm quite liking that white and blue mix there.
That'd
quite
be a lovely collection, wouldn't it?
Be good.
All right, 560640 is the item number if you'd like to go for the erigeron. As I said, it's a massive saving, £20 off. They were taking 2/3 off the price, and you will get your club discount as well. Now then, we're coming back to, and this was on the favourites last week, and we're keeping it here because this one has been super popular. We've kept the offer of a buy one get one free. So the item 561198 contains 3 of the 7-centimetre pots. Let me pick one of those up for you. That's one of the 7-centimetre pots right there. Oh yeah, look at that. So you're going to get 3 of those, but it's a buy one get one free. So when you put one in your basket and you enter the offer code YGTV2524, We will put another set of 3 into your basket for you. Gorgeous colours you've got in here as well.
It's just a shame gerberas aren't hardy because you can't grow them outside, can you?
I know, right? It's hang on a minute. It says hardy in the title.
No, don't be daft, Bex. Yeah, everybody knows gerberas. You just have them in bouquets. You can't grow them outside, not in the UK.
Yeah, you definitely can.
No, that's a stupid thing,
definitely
isn't it?
can.
That was my incredulous reaction, though, like, years ago when people said, hardy gerberas, don't be silly, that's going to be one of those gimmick plants. It's not going to work. They're going to die in the frost. -8 these will go down to.
Yeah.
So these really are tough,
Well, I
tough
grew these myself
plants.
last year. I got loads of flowers from them last year. They were absolutely beautiful, and they're coming back this year. I've got those flowers coming again this year. Obviously, a really tough winter will get rid of them, you know, as we say, but they are hardy down to -8. So most of the country, this is going to be fine. These pictures were taken last year. I can't remember when, probably around July time. Maybe, yeah, July or August I took these. Look how many flowers there are on each one of those plants. And that was first year. That's a snapshot. One moment in time. Bear in mind, they start in June. Probably end of May, June time was when mine first started flowering. They're going to keep going. June, July, August, September, and tickling into October as well.
They're a knockout, aren't they? And I was thinking about these the other day because when I leave Swaffham to go to work, quite often I go through a town called Brandon. And Brandon last year were finalists in the Britain in Bloom competition.
Okay, yeah.
And they do have the most gorgeous flower displays in this town. It's absolutely stunning. And there's one part along the side of a road where they've got a raised bed and they've sort of angled it upwards at 45 degrees. And this year they've planted loads and loads of gerberas in there. And they're looking absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Right now, there's probably about 10, 15 flowers on each one.
Yeah.
And they've only just gone in the last couple of weeks. And I just know that's going to keep going. In fact, if I can sort of stop and park near there, I'll take some pics for you because, yeah, they look absolutely glorious. And I think they've probably got more chance than ever this year of you know, winning another award, to be honest, because that display is going to look so incredible.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about gerberas, because you do get loads of flowers from them. We're saying probably up to about 50 in a season once these get established. I didn't count how many I got off each plant last year, but I got loads of them. And they do grow quite quickly as well.
Yeah, and you've got those lovely upright stems, haven't you? Those strong, upright, rigid
really
stems.
Sturdy.
And
That's
some
why
of
they're
them
used in cut flowers.
sort of flower size, Bex. I mean, like sort of as wide as a teacup, can't they? The top of a teacup, those flowers. And you can cut these as well. You can cut these to have them as cut flowers. And you're looking at that one's teasy. There's definitely one in there with 2 little flower buds at the base, isn't there?
Here it is. There we go, look. So there's the 2 that are really close to the base there. Those are going to form those flowers. And it really, truly is quite amazing how quick, because they look tiny now, don't they? And you're like, oh, I'm going to be waiting for ages.
You see,
it's amazing how quick those shoot up.
Well, because we had these on, I think, last weekend, and those buds were tight right down in the base of the leaves, weren't they? And you can already see there's a little bit of a stem already growing on them now. So in a week, they've grown at like almost an inch or so.
Sometimes I go outside and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. It was only yesterday I was out here, and they grow really quickly.
And look at the foliage.
Cut them, yeah, it's so healthy. You can cut them to bring them indoors, or you can just leave them on the plant outside, do a little bit of deadheading. Once the flower fades, cut it right down at the base. Another one will soon pop up, and you get multiples at any one point. It is a buy one, get one free, remember, so put one in your basket, enter the code YGTV2524, and we will put another collection in your basket for you. So you're going to get 3 colours, 2 of each.
I'll just ask, Bex, what sort of stem length did you kind of on average, did you get with those in the end?
I'm going to say, yeah, somewhere between 20 and 30 centimetres.
Great, so they would make cut flowers. You could definitely cut them to go in a vase.
Definitely,
oh, that's cool,
yeah.
That's nice.
Absolutely. Now, in the picture you saw, I had mine planted in the Bellagio pots. And this is just a little serving suggestion for you if you want to put them into pots. I quite liked this. We actually did this as a collection last year. So we did the gerberas with the pots, and obviously we colour matched the pots. Now I decided to mix it up. I could have put the yellow gerbera in the yellow pot. I decided to mix it up a little bit. I quite like the contrast. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? And it just really adds that zing of colour, that bright pop of colour. So if you want to go for the Bellagio pots, you actually get 4 in this collection. So you can use 3 of these for your gerberas, and then you'll have 1 spare to use for something else. It is $7.99, by the way. It should be $19.99. We're saving £12. $7.19 if you are in the club. And these, I mean, Yeah, they're £4.99 each. It says on the bottom, £4.99 each. We've got them down to £2 each. These are great in the summer, adding extra colour, but also these are going to be fantastic in the winter as well. If you want to use these for something else in the winter, you will then add that gorgeous pop of colour in those darker months.
And I tell you what I would use those for as well. Great for kids. You know, if you've got children gardening, children or grandchildren, because you know children like bright colours, don't they? They love really super bright colours. So you could grow anything. I mean, they could grow summer bedding in those, couldn't they? They could grow a little tumbling tomato. They could grow some little strawberries in there. Just anything really. These would be great for like little school projects or things like that. Just somewhere that sort of needs brightening up, or you've got a bit of a dull corner, and you just want, you know, you don't want just colour from the plant. You want colour from the planter as well.
Yeah, great size as well. These are perfect for the gerberas, but perfect for a whole variety of other things that you want to plant. So £2 each they work out as. This would be a great idea actually. If your basket is around £38, and you're paying £6.99 postage, it'd be good to add these into your basket, because then you're not paying the postage, but you're going to get 4 pots, and you're going to be paying a similar price, if not just a little bit less, by adding those ones into your basket. You could do the same with the Torino pots that we've got as well. Those are the lovely sort of copper, darker coloured ones. We'll bring those in for you in a little while. 130327 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Bellagios. They work perfectly with the gerberas.
That could be like kind of sort of an Italian kind of series, couldn't it?
What?
The Bellagios, yeah, kind of like just family story.
Is there a joke?
No, I'm just
saying. Am I
missing
it?
No, I was just saying, like a series, like an Italian TV series. It's just got a name to it, like
Oh,
the Bellagios. You know, kind
the Bellagios.
The Bellagios.
All right, I'm
yeah,
there now. I've caught up with you. Sorry. Right. Shall we have a little look in the chat and see what's going on?
Stu's naming them all.
Stu's naming
all the characters.
Salvatore Biagio.
What's the famous family from America? The like the Kardashians.
Like the Kardashians, but Bellagios.
Yeah, the Bellagios.
Yeah, I'm with you now. I've caught up. Sometimes he goes off right off on a tangent, and I don't know where he's going. It's always interesting, though, isn't it? It's always interesting. Right. Good morning, Glenn. I think he's asking, is everything on offer today in stock and ready to go for dispatch? Yes, Glenn, it is. I don't think we've got anything on pre-order. Oh, hang on, Stu's asking the question. The only thing that's not on stock that is on our show page, so we're not bringing it out today, but it is in the show page on the website, is the sweet corn. But everything we're bringing up and we're showing you within the YGTV show, it is in stock, it is ready for dispatch. Oh, apparently our orders from Sunday have been dispatched. So if you placed an order on Sunday, they're out. They're out the door. They should be on their way to you. Glyn, are the heleniums likely to flop over in heavy rain?
Generally, I've found heleniums do stay upright in most weathers, but what you could do in the spring, you can buy those plant supports, the sort of tripod ones with the grid on the top.
Oh, have you seen those ones that are like spirals?
Yeah, they're quite good. Yeah, they're nice. I mean, they're all kind of attractive, aren't they? Different kind of supports. But the grid one is like a tripod with like a sort of a grid on the top. And if you just actually put that over the top of the heleniums when they're just about 5 or 6 inches tall, they grow up and through it.
And then they'll give that support.
And you don't see the support, and it will just support them. So what I'd say is, if you've got them in quite a sheltered spot, they'll absolutely be fine. But
like in my kind of garden, the fences all the way around.
They should be fine.
They should be all right, shouldn't they?
But if you're a little bit worried and you've got them out in the open a bit more and you're in a bit of an exposed garden, then you could just grow them through one of those plant supports, and that way you know that they'll definitely stay upright. Another thing you could do as well, you could try, is something called the Chelsea chop. Which,
I love the Chelsea chop.
Yeah, which is brilliant for heleniums. Heleniums react well to that. So the Chelsea chop is very terrifying if you've not done it before.
Yeah.
And what it generally means is roundabouts the Chelsea flower show time or just after, you take a perennial like this, and then you cut it down again by about 1/3 or 1/2 just to above a leaf. And what that does is that gets the plant to reshoot, and it means it will flower later but it will flower on shorter, sturdier stems, which are less likely to flop over. So you could try that as well. You could Chelsea chop, put in a support, but generally I find with these, because they've got these lovely, upright, really sturdy stems, they don't tend generally to flop over. And if they do, it's only temporarily. It's not like they fall over and never come back up.
Right,
yeah. As soon as they dry out, they pop back up again.
All right, Glenn, hope we've helped you on that one. Elaine, I think we've missed her. She said she was only watching for 20 minutes, but she's going to catch up later. So bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30. If you're still watching, Elaine, bye-bye. See you at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Lovely to have your company, even if it's for a short time. We don't mind. Of course, you can catch up, as Elaine is going to do. So if you don't know this, you don't have to be watching us live. You can catch up. The shows are always available on YouTube and on Facebook and on the YouGarden website. They're all listed there, so you can go in. Even if you can watch for 20 minutes, you can come back later on when you've got time, and you can start again or fast forward through the bits that you're not interested in. If I'm rambling, like I am now.
Rabbling.
Just skip. Should we move on?
You're rambling.
I'm rambling. Let's go on to something more useful. Let's give you a little review of everything that you've seen on this table. So if you want to write down some item numbers, now is the time. Starting with our Helenium, the Moorheim Beauty, 3 9cm pots you get with this one, saving £18 on this. It's just £11.97 or £10.77 if you're in the club, because you get that extra 10% discount. 3 9cm pots, and these plants are fabulous for that late season colour. It's a gorgeous, I'm not going to say red, it's more of a rusty, orangey red colour that you get with these. Beautiful for the pollinators, absolutely gorgeous. 560901 is your item number. Next we had the Canna Lily collection, 3 different varieties, beautifully tropical feel to these, gorgeous banana-shaped leaves as well. I think it adds a sort of holiday tropical feel into your garden, lovely hot colour schemes. You've got the bronze peach, the bronze scarlet and the red gold flame. That's that one with that beautiful yellow outline to the petals. 450164 is the item number, and it's a half price deal. We're taking £15 off there. Crystal Palace Blue. This is your lobelia, 20 garden ready plants for a phenomenal price. Let's just face it, £9.99. 20 of those garden ready plants delivered direct to your door. Fill some gaps in the borders. Use them as fillers in your hanging baskets, your pots. Plant these up just as a pot all on their own. I promise you that will delight you, and it will delight you all summer long, right the way through into autumn, and you will need to do very little to them. Just give them some water. They don't even need feed, to be honest with you. They just do their thing. 410069 is the item number if you'd like to go for your lobelias. We definitely recommend going for your erigeron along with your lobelia. Those two together, as Adam said, would work so pretty, so beautifully. It's going to create a carpet of colour, and the blue mixed in with those pinks and whites will just be heavenly. Erigeron is so hardy, so tough, really easy to look after, forms a beautiful carpet of colour, and it just does it for such a long time. We're talking 6-7 months of flowers with this for very little effort from you. 560640 is the item number if you would like to go for your erigeron. And finally, the buy one get one free offer on the gerberas. You're going to get 3 7cm pots. Those were mine that you were looking at there, that I grew last year. But 3 7cm pots, but it's a buy one get one free. So put 1 in your basket, 561198. Enter the offer code YGTV2524, and we'll put another set of 3 into your basket for you. So you'll get 2 each of 3 beautiful colours. Loads of flowers on these, right the way through from June all the way through to into September and October. And of course they are winter hardy, down to about -8 we are saying on these ones, so all but the worst winters these are going to be able to deal with. Right. Oh, and the Bellagio pots, if you'd like to go for the Bellagio pots to go with them. Those were mine that I planted in the Bellagios. You do actually get 4 in this collection. So if you want them to go with your gerberas, you might need to multi-order and get 8 of them, which then means you'll have 2 spare to use for something else. Or maybe just go for 1 set, put 3 of your gerberas, or 4 of your gerberas in, and then put the other 2 somewhere else in your garden. Up to you. Just giving you options. 130327 is the item number. They work out at £2 each. They're normally £4.99 each. So yeah, that's a great value item there. 130327. Stu, I can't see Apple TV in the mirroring section, so I can't mirror. He told me to stop breaking everything. I need to mirror it with the telly, you see, so that I could show pictures. Because it's amazing, amazing telly. Right, Stu's going to try and fix that. Stu, you asked me something about, did I ask Cameron's question? Karen's question. Oh, I'm in the emails, that's why. Let me see if I can mirror. Bear with me, guys. I know this is really interesting telly for you. Yeah, it's not coming up, Stu. You might have to come and play with it. It says I've got Wi-Fi. I'm going to the mirroring section. It tells me I can go onto some other TVs, but not the Apple TV. So that's annoying. Karen, let me have a look at her question. We might be able to answer it for you anyway. Karen, question and photos. A quick question around what you would recommend as a larger companion pot to the Torino. Looking to move some salad out into larger, or chives and oregano. Also erigeron planted in Torino down the steps, growing away nicely now. These were from a few weeks back. Yeah, we definitely need to mirror to be able to show these, don't we? Oh, Karen's the lovely lady with the Torinos on the shelves, and they're also going down her steps as well. So we want a larger pot to go with the Torinos.
Well, the Lavals.
Yeah, the only ones we've got in the studio right now are the Lavals.
Yeah, the Lavals would work. Yeah. Have we got any of those green ones left as well? Are they all gone? Well, they're not.
No, the Prismas have gone. So there are the Lavals. If we get the Torinos next to it, they are slightly larger. But they would look beautiful paired with them because of the colours that we've got there.
I mean, appreciate they're not square and square. I mean, you're going from square to round.
Square and round is lovely. There are loads on the website. I'll have to have a little look on the website for you, Karen, in order to see what we've got there. We don't have any more here in the potting shed with us to show you, unfortunately, but we can have a little look on the website. I'm still sure Stu will have a little look and see what he can find on there. So kind of
looking to transplant, I guess, from like one to the other. Is that the kind of...
Say again, sorry.
We're looking is it, Carol, Karen looking to transplant, is she from one to the other? Is that the idea?
Well, she wants to put some chives and some salad and things outside, basically. So, quick question around what would you recommend as a larger companion to the Torino? Looking to move the salad out into larger... Oh, so she's looking to move these into larger pots. Yeah. So the things that she's got in her Torinos.
Although a lot of those herbs would be all right still in the Torino-sized pot. I mean, chives would still be okay in there, for example. Yeah. So... you might need to water them a little bit more, but but I mean, I think the Lavals would certainly be
yeah, definitely.
You know, would be a good size for sort of potting on anything like that, any sort of herbs. I mean, especially if you're going to grow sort of like rosemary or a little bay tree or something like that, because then you've got a good 2 or 3 years of sort of growth size in the pots of this size.
They are just that little bit bigger, so those might work for you, Karen. If not, by all means, just have a little look on the website. You know, you can go in the sections, and we've got loads of pots on there, so you can go and have a look and shop the web for those pots. We'll have a little look there when we get a chance and see if we can recommend anything specific for you. But if you want to go for the Lavals, it's 130595. Have we still got the double up on this one, Stu? It's not on the screen, my dear. So it is a twin pack that you can get for £14.98. We have taken £5 off the price for you. So they should be £20 for 2 of these. But actually, if you double up, you'll get all 4 of these for our usual £19.98. So it works out £5 per pot. So those might work really nicely for you, Karen. If not, by all means, have a little look on the website and we'll see what we can find for you as well. Oh, apparently it does still work, the deal on the double up, so you can still get 4 of those for £5. Stu's just had a little look.
These are gorgeous, these pots as well. I love these. These are one of my favourites. I just kind of love that texturing they've got on the outside as well.
I think they're so pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And you know what? If you were kind of just, I don't know, walking to work down the street and you saw somebody's in somebody's front garden, you wouldn't guess these are plastic. I mean, these do look like stone kind of pots, don't they? They've got that real kind of look to them. The fact they've almost got that matte finish as well, because sometimes you think about plastic pots and they can they can be a bit shiny and sort of really cheap looking. These don't look like that. These have got that sort of matte finish that you would expect from a real stone pot. You've got, say, the sort of the raised pattern on there as well. They're UV stable. They're frost resistant. These are quite rigid, strong pots as well. And
but they've still got that little bit of movement, which actually is a good thing because it means they're not going to be brittle and crack and break. So that extra bit of movement actually is great. And also, if you're trying to get a plant out, sometimes when it's really in there, you need a little bit of give to kind of squeeze
just to
it
kind of loosen it
out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What I don't like is, sometimes you had those pots that sort of narrow at the top, and then you have to break the pot, don't you? Because you just, if you've got a really root-bound plant, you can never get it out.
Right, let's change the details, shall we? Check out my magic. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There's the double up deal for you.
It's slow magic.
2 twin packs. But I can't click my fingers, that's the problem.
Oh, I couldn't do that for love nor money.
I've always struggled to do that. 2 twin packs for £19.98 works out at just £5 per pot. If you just want to go for 2, that's absolutely fine. We've still got a deal on those, $14.98 for 2 of them. But obviously, the better value is if you double up on the twin packs and get 4 of those.
Could you do the big whistle thing when you're young?
Yeah.
I can never do it because I used to have mates who used to just like put 2 fingers in their mouth and then.
I won't do it, but yes, I can do it.
If you offered me £1 million, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's one thing I can do.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can't do many things, but I can do that.
You could do many. You're a very, very talented woman. Don't put yourself down.
You're too kind, Adam.
No, I'm not kind. I'm honest.
Oh,
but and that thing, the way people click their fingers,
I've never been able to.
No, can't do that. Well, it's supposed to be bad for your knuckles if you do it all the time.
Right, well, I'm not going to do it then. Right, let's talk to you about the most popular item that we bring you here at the YouGarden Nursery from YGTV. In all of our previous lives where we've appeared on various shopping channels, this has always been the most popular thing that we have brought. We have pages and pages and pages of reviews on this, and over the years, thousands of people have rated this their 5-star, their gold star. Thank you, Olwyn, for that comment. It's their gold star product, and the reason for it is that it works, doesn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah. It was, as Stu just said, our productor. If this was Compost Olympics, it'd win gold every time. It would. It would just be year after year after year. And the thing
smell that compost, Adam.
I know. Well, it's funny because the other day, I thought you the other day, Bex, because I was just scrolling through Instagram, people's videos, and there was a lady who put up a post about soil and compost and about the aromas
and what it does
and how it releases all those good sort of pheromones and kind of releases all those good endorphins and
serotonin. And these are all the happy hormones.
All the happy hormones.
The good things, the things that make you feel, happy, basically.
And content. Yeah, and it's not surprising, is it? Because you think as human beings, for probably the vast majority of our existence on this planet, we lived very, very close to the soil. We didn't live in isolated homes like we do now, kind of, vacuum sealed in our houses. We live close to the ground, so it's not surprising that when you've got something as fresh and as earthy and as healthy as this,
the smell that comes off it,
it's brilliant.
It's packed full of beneficial ingredients. It's quite simple, the formula, but it is a perfectly balanced formula that means that the majority of the plants that you plant in your garden, in your pots, even your house plants, are going to live such a happy life in here. A few exceptions would be the real ericaceous, the acid-loving plants, your blueberries, your rhododendrons, azaleas, those sorts of things. Yeah. But pretty much everything else,
because it's pH balance as well, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline. But as Beck said, it's brilliant because it's simple. That's the thing, it's a simple formula. You go to the garden centres these days and you might see 10, 12 different brands of compost, and they're all vying with each other, and they've all got this technology stuff on the front, and you really just don't know which one to go for. With this, this is a hugely peat-reduced compost, and eventually we're going to go peat-free. Everyone will go peat-free eventually. But what we've done, we've added composted wood fibre, and that helps 3 ways. That gets oxygen and air down to the roots of the plants. That's so important. It allows the water to percolate down and through, so the compost never becomes really heavy and stodgy and sticky. And also, just imagine you're a tiny seed, literally the size of a piece of dust. Well, now when you germinate, you don't need a Kango to kind of break your way through the compost to form a root system. Or pneumatic drill. Kango, that's a sort of commercial name, pneumatic drill. But that little seed when that little root comes out, it can just so easily establish itself in this compost. And then when it does, it's going to find what Bex has got in her hands as well. It's going to find this slow-release fertiliser that's going to feed that little plant for up to 6 months and keep it going. And then, when you water the compost, in fact, we gave this little water before the show, and I think next show we're going to do it live, because it was really good. Because I was just walking in, Bex had a little white watering can. I
left it outside.
But Bex was just watering the compost over, and what I noticed straight away, it wasn't running off the sides, it was soaking straight in.
Soaking into here,
It's got that wetting agent, so this compost wants to absorb the moisture. So everything about this compost is just geared to giving you those brilliant results. And basically, I pretty much say if it's green and it grows, it's going to love this compost.
It really does. And it's called premium professional compost because it genuinely is that. It is a premium quality. And it's the compost that we use here at the nursery. So anything we grow, anything we pot on, all our pre-made hanging baskets, all the roses that we've potted on, they've all been potted on in this compost. Our business here is growing and selling plants. And our head gardener is so fastidious when it comes to the quality of the plants. So he's not going to use an inferior compost. He uses the best, and this genuinely is the best. Please give it a go if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, you're probably sitting there thinking, what are they talking about? It's just compost. Like, it's not that important. Have a little research, do a little reading into how important the composition of soil actually is. Because I used to think exactly the same. Well, it's just compost, it'll be fine, plants will be fine. But it really is important. If you relate it to, so think about the kind of food that you put in your body. We all know, don't we? And we all love a bit of junk food and we all love a takeaway, and that's fine. But we do know, excuse me, we do know that we need to have fruit, and we need to have vegetables, and we need to have a balanced diet in order to be happy, healthy human beings. We know that, don't we? Even if we do treat ourselves to some chocolate and some takeaways.
Once in a blue moon doesn't help, does it?
Absolutely. Just translate that to your plants. They are living things as well. They need goodness. They can't live on water alone. They need the feed. They need these sorts of things that are included in this compost. So 100125 is your item number. To go for 100 litres, it's 2 plain bags that you get. It comes delivered in a cardboard box as well. There is no postage attached to this item number, so if you want to get multiples of your free gift, this is the way to do it. Place an order for your compost. Put in the code YGTV2524, that's how you get the amazing saving, and you also get your free gift added into your basket. Then you can come back and place another order for anything else that you might want. If you can get that to over £40, you'll get free postage, and you will get another free gift included in there as well.
There's a song about this compost.
Is there? What is it?
Everything I grew it with you. There you go.
You should not give up the day job. Excuse me. Right, let's move on. 680057 is the item number if you'd like to go for the next amazing deal. This is our oleander bush. This is $29.99 normally for one. Yeah, I was just looking at that. I think it's $14.99 for one. I think we have kept the deal from last week. So if you want to go for one, it's normally $29.99. But if you want to go for one, it is a half-price deal at $14.98 or $99. But we've also got an amazing deal here for you on a double-up deal. So you could go for 2 of these for $19.98. Which works out £10 each. So it doesn't matter which configuration you want to go for. You can go for one if you want to and still get an amazing price at $14.99. We will change those details. But if you want to go for 2, that's where the extra saving is, where you'll get them for £10 each. It might be that you only want one, but wouldn't the other one be an amazing gift for somebody? You know, instead of buying them a bunch of flowers that'll fade and die within a week, get them this. This will probably give them hopefully a lifetime of joy, because these are really long-lived, aren't they?
Yeah, and 6 months of colour for this year at least, because you're going to get the rest of June, July, August, September, well, 4 or 5 months of colour, sort of right up to the end of September, even October, especially if you plant them somewhere really hot and sunny and sheltered. That's what they really, really love. And of course, if you're in a super cold area, you can plant these in a pot. the question earlier on from Karen about pots, the Laval pots would also be good for these for probably a couple of seasons actually, because they're just big enough for these to go into. These are hardy down to about -5 as well, so hardier than what you actually realise. But yeah, just fantastic plants. And in recent years, I've just seen bigger and bigger oleanders in this country because winters are getting milder, summer's getting warmer, they're surviving, and of course the bigger they get, the hardier and stronger they get. I was just going to ask you as well, is oleander bush a relative of George Bush?
Oh God!
Because they're from no.
They're getting worse between him and Stu. Honestly, you don't know what I have to put up with. Stu, I've managed to mirror, by the way. Right, 680057 is the item number if you want to go for your oleanders. They are amazing quality, come from a Sicily-based grower. They're a family business and they are the absolute best when it comes to growing oleanders. That's why we work with them. That's why we joined the waiting list to be able to work with them, and we've now had that relationship for several years. Other people, they have to wait 10 years.
They do.
It's a 10-year waiting list.
But no. We're already on the list.
Yeah, we're already there. We're already getting them.
And because we buy so many as well, I mean, literally, you see the pictures of them in the greenhouses, we can get these at these incredible prices. And it's been difficult getting oleanders into the country in recent years because of Brexit, because of a disease on the continent called Xylella. We've managed to circumvent all that and actually bring you these incredible plants. We
have indeed. Apparently I've got a new email from Karen. Hold on. Karen. Sorry, this one was taken at the weekend. Forgive the broom. I'll forgive your broom, Karen. Don't you worry. Can you see that one, Stu? Oh, there it is. Look how well they've grown on.
Blimey, they have got a shift on,
haven't they?
Looking
fantastic. Yeah, I think that's why she's thinking about needing to repot. I can see that.
Yeah, possibly. Although, to be honest, I think is that mint up on the top right? Because that
maybe
you could probably, I mean, you could keep the mint in there, to be honest, because that doesn't mind being pot bound. But yeah, you could pot them on. I mean, if you do decide to keep them in these current pots, just keep liquid feeding because they'll deplete the nutrients quite quickly in those pots. But yeah, I get where you're coming from there, Karen. And I guess probably you are thinking of some sort of more square pots so you can fit kind of nice and neatly on the shelves as opposed to round ones.
Yeah, I get it, but obviously you can't go too much bigger on there.
No, you can end up
it won't fit.
Losing the space. So
they look
about
great
a trough
though, Karen. I love that. Oh yeah, maybe one of our troughs.
You could go for a trough and have three different herbs in one trough. We got like those little. It's got some troughs down there. I know we haven't got them on the website.
I don't know if we've got them.
But
we'll have a look. We'll have a look on the website.
That's
anyway.
The kind of idea.
I'm going to come back to Tony's picture because bless him, we sent these on Sunday and we didn't get a chance to show them. And he's asking for us to tell him what this blue flower is. And we had a little look and we think it's a campanula, don't we? Yeah,
it's definitely a campanula. It looks a bit like Campanula muralis, but I don't think it is that exact species. But yeah, it's a campanula. Really strong perennial plants come up year after year after year. They spread a little bit as well. Nice long flowering period, those little sort of purpley blue flowers on. Yeah, really lovely plant.
They're beautiful. All right, so we think that's a campanula. He sent us some other pictures as well, so I'll show those while we're here. Oh, well, that's a good one because this is the oleander. That looks like the red one as well, doesn't it? And it's in the Laval planter, which we are definitely recommending to go with the oleander bush. And as Adam's saying, they should live in there for a good couple of seasons.
Yeah, they'll be keep them watered and fed. Definitely be okay for this year and the following year. That is looking super healthy, that plant, isn't it?
Yeah, he must have just received that as well. Like, that can't have been in his garden for long, can it?
And months of flower to come on that. That's going to keep flowering.
Looking really nice. Got another couple of pictures from him, so let's quickly show those as well, and then we'll move on, because we are an hour in already. Ooh, unbelievable.
Oh, we haven't seen them for a few weeks, have we?
Osteospermum growing there as well. Are those the Granvias? Oh, maybe. And look at all those pots. Look, he's got the Laval pots. He's got the Torino pots. He's got the green ones, whatever they were called. Prisma pots. Ah, Tony. Yes, Tony. Tony was sort of new to gardening, wasn't he? He found YouGarden and basically sort of started gardening, discovered YGTV, and now he's poor. Yeah, but we are trying to save you lots of money as well. That is looking gorgeous, though. I love that kind of, tiered planting structure that you've got going on there.
What that one is there.
What that one is.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing it on the screen as well now. I'm making it look bigger.
That's beautiful.
I think that's either a type of Nemesia or Diacia.
It's nice, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's one of those bedding Nemesias.
Is that a rock rose over there?
It's a rock rose. That's looking gorgeous as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that garden.
Yeah, that's looking really pretty, Tony. Well done, well done. But apparently spends an hour a day gardening. Him and his wife are disabled, so can't do loads, but gets out and does it, and that's what we love. That's what we enjoy about gardening, getting out there, getting a bit of exercise, getting a bit of fresh air. We can all do it, can't we?
And I bet you feel good for it as well. I bet you come in from that garden and you just feel really kind of revitalised and uplifted, and especially this time of year when the sun does come out, because it's so lovely and warm on the skin this time of year, isn't it? You hear the birds singing and, it's wonderful.
Right, Dingo.
Oh,
hello,
wow.
Dingo. Right, so Dingo sent these. Here are some of the lilies that are open in his garden. But check out the next one, because Dingo has what he calls a sea of lilies ready to pop. And yes, they really are ready to pop, aren't they? I'm looking at all of my lilies out there at the moment. I'm growing some which are part of the lily trials. I've been asked to grow them by YGTV or YouGarden, and hopefully they'll be available for sale next year. The buds are there, they're waiting to open. I've got my tree lilies, my skyscrapers that I planted this year. They are up to shoulder height in the first year. They've got buds on, they're waiting to open. So I think over the next week, because we're going to get some nice warm days, some lovely sunshine, that's just going to make them do what they need to do.
Well, I put some lilies in a few years ago, and they're not meant to be tree lilies. They're already that much taller than me. Yeah, I've got to move them, because I put them.
Too tall.
It's not suitable. I put them in the middle of this border, because when I bought them, it said they were about 2 to 3 foot tall. They've gone nuts.
They've gone big.
Yeah, I think lilies are loving the moisture this year, because lilies like quite cool, damp kind of root conditions. I think they're really enjoying the super moist ground and the cooler conditions.
Right, good morning to everybody. Morning to Neil, who's popping in and out. Julia, Elaine, Glyn, Grimmy, all of you that are on YouTube, everybody that's on Facebook, Stu's keeping an eye on those for me. But we've also got our email address. You've seen that I've been showing some pictures on there. If you want to send any, you can do. ygtv@yougarden.com. But the other thing that we want from you, please, is any questions that you might have for our head gardener. He is going to be joining me here in the potting shed tomorrow. We are still going to be showing you products, top tips, advice. We're still going to be bringing you plants. But if you do have any specific questions, I don't know, could be anything. He knows a lot, does that man? I mean, so does Adam here, and I know a bit as well. So we'll answer some questions for you. But if you've got anything specific for the head gardener, send us an email, title it "Questions for the Head Gardener," and then we'll save all of those. And then when he's here in the potting shed tomorrow morning, we will put those questions to him. We are going to have a slightly earlier start tomorrow. It'll be 9:30 tomorrow morning. So if you can, get your cup of tea a little bit earlier and come and sit down and join us from 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Ask him to try and pronounce that allium.
That allium, the spherocephalon.
Hey, you.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Well, there's one of these. It's not this one, but there's the Acer, which is called the Shirasawenamamam. And I can never say Shirasawenamamam. I can never say it.
That's right. And it's kind of when you're doing live telly and stuff as well, because you're kind of building up to it, and you think, I've got this nailed, and then you open your mouth and it's like.
I did it the other day. So I was on QVC at the weekend, because we partner with QVC, by the way. So we do shows on QVC as well. I'll be there at some point this week. Tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow and Saturday. I'll be here in the morning, though. And I was doing one, and I can't remember what the product is, but it's bred by the same guy that bred Sophinia petunias, and his name is Ushio Sakazukinomitumi. and I'd learnt it, and then I went to say it, and I did exactly that. I went, Ushio Sakazukinomitumi. I felt like a right idiot.
Yeah, but we have a lot to remember, don't we?
I'll learn it, I promise. Right, acers, my favourite plant in the garden. It's not actually.
And these are your favourite. because these have got the really,
These are the dissected leaves.
Dissected leaves. That's what you love, isn't it?
I do love all acers, but it is, and do you know what? It comes from my mum and dad, basically. So they've got this beautiful acer, and it's one of those burgundy coloured ones, and it's got the full dissected leaves. It's the same one I've got in my garden as well. And that's where my love of acers came from. And I just love the dissected leaves on these particular varieties, but this one's a bit interesting as well because it's not just one colour. You've got this lovely, it's almost tricolour, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tricolour. You've got these sort of almost salmon pink kind of new leaves that come out that looks absolutely extraordinary. And quite often on acers, it's the new foliage that is the most dramatic. Oh, look at that. I mean, that will be right in the spring, just as it's starting to come out. So we're probably talking about sort of mid-April, something like that, mid to late April, when these really start to pop open. And that's when you've got that super, super pink foliage. And then gradually, as that foliage matures, that pink will sort of go down to more of a kind of a whitish kind of marbly colour, which actually does remain along with the green on the leaves as well. So this plant's always changing colour at different times of the year. There's almost never a month where it's sort of one colour or the other. So you've got that interest all the year through.
Yeah, and then of course when it gets to autumn time and it drops its leaves, you do get from every acer you get a blaze of colour, don't you?
You do, yeah, and that's the weird thing because in recent, when we used to think about acers before, we would think about the sort of the red coloured acers like Acer Bloodgood, which is like a really, really popular acer, and it just have those red leaves, and that's red or green we used to think of mainly for acers, and then they would change those fabulous colours in the autumn. But oh my goodness me, now there's just so many acers with different colours. We bought you a collection the other day where there was ones with orange foliage and the red foliage, but this one has got pink, it's got that sort of whitish sort of marbling on there as well. It's got these really, really fabulously dissected leaves. It's got this lovely sort of weeping kind of habit as well, this lovely open, gentle weeping habit. I could almost see this almost like on a little raised up area, kind of just overhanging the edge of a path somewhere, or overhanging the edge of a pond.
Totally.
Somewhere like that. Or,
that would be so calming.
Yeah, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Or if you've got one of these little water features with a little stream coming down or a little waterfall, you could just imagine it overhanging something like that with the water running underneath it. And then, for instance, if you bought our hardy ferns, you can imagine the little hardy fern collection underneath there and some hostas and perhaps a little mossy log and some mossy stones, and it's all of a sudden you've created that real ambience, that kind of little feeling of a little Japanese garden, a little relaxing corner.
That's exactly what I think acers do, and that's why I love them, you know, because they do have this kind of calming effect. It doesn't matter where you plant them. It doesn't matter if you've got all of this. I mean, great if you can do all of the things you're saying, but even if it's just an acer planted, the way that it grows and moves, it just provides that lovely calming effect in the garden. And of course, they're slow growing as well. So if you've got a smaller space and you don't want something that grows really quickly, this is a great thing to have.
Yeah, they make fantastic pot plants. They're great for pots.
Yeah, all of mine are in pots.
Yeah, and they're
never leaving them behind.
Really, really hardy as well. Incredibly hardy plants. I mean, they originate from Japan and that part of the world, so they're used to very, very bitter cold winters. There's just two things that they won't thank you for. They don't like to be really full, baking, intense sunlight. That's not good for them. And don't put them in a really windy, drafty kind of situation. But other than that, they're good for sometimes areas that are more problematic areas, like shade, like cool, like damp areas. Other things might not like to be. Those like those cooler, lower light conditions, that sort of those cooler, damp soils. And yes, so they are long-lived, and they will just, you know, each year get slightly bigger and bigger and bigger. And they just add that really calming, soft, soothing interest to a garden. I adore acers. I've got how many acers I've got? About 2 or 3. No, I've got more than that. I've got 1 there, 2 there. I've got about 5 or 6.
While you were talking, I was counting mine as well.
I've got about 6
definitely got
acers.
5 in pots, and then I've got a couple of bonsai ones. One I think I've killed, which I'm a bit worried about. I think it's dead. I don't know what. I think I've killed it. Yeah, Stu said something in my ear, which I've been quoting to a few people on Instagram and Facebook lately, which is, you know, the difference between a good gardener and a great gardener is that a great gardener has killed way more plants.
It's true, yeah.
We have to learn somehow, don't we?
You do. You know, you've got to try
things. How do you learn if you don't kill it?
Well, I mean, for instance, one of the acers I've got in my garden, I bought one of the acers where there was 3 acers in one collection.
Yes.
And two have done really, really well. A red one and a nice limey green one, but the third one kind of gave up. But you know, the two together look fantastic.
Yeah, well, they are really hardy, so please don't worry about them. They do have our winter hardiest stamp of approval, so they can get through those winters. They don't have an issue with that at all. They will drop their leaves, but I think they look very statuesque and beautiful even without their leaves. And it's amazing when you start seeing the foliage come back on in the springtime. 510524 is the item number for the Acer palmatum Taylor, which I think is actually one of those varieties that is really up there, quite stunning, quite beautiful. $29.99. We are taking £10 off the price of that one, so we have taken a 25% saving off there. Just make sure you use the code YGTV2524 in order to get that £10 saving. Right, we're going to move on to the Weigela, which I've turned on to Weigela lately. Certainly this spring, or sort of about 6 weeks ago, I really started to notice the Weigela because it is an absolutely stunning plant. This one I particularly love because you pulled it off.
It was connected.
Well, you've got a particularly deep and beautiful pink bud on here against a really dark, deep foliage.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about this one. And it was interesting, you just said you're getting turned on back onto Weigela because Weigelas were very popular back in the sort of 70s and early 80s, and then they fell out of fashion.
It happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. People just found them a bit like hydrangeas fell out of favour. People just thought they were a bit old-fashioned and a bit blousy and stuff. But in recent years, they've really, really kind of made a comeback. And this one is a sort of a multifaceted one. First of all, it's a standard, which is brilliant. We like standards, don't we?
Shapes,
because
honestly,
great for limited space.
Totally.
You know, my 3 floors up and just a balcony thing where you can enjoy a Weigela because this, you know, the actual part, the main part of the plant's up in the air, taking up space that nothing else would grow in. And then, of course, you can underplant right up to the base at the bottom if it's in a pot.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the cane in there. I would probably leave the cane in here for at least this season. It's a nice bit of support whilst that stem is getting stronger, but then you can remove the cane later.
Yeah, you can remove the cane on that. I mean, this one, when you take it, this is one at a slight angle, but when you plant it, obviously you just tilt it over a bit just to get it to be absolutely dead upright. But of course, this one's got that lovely dark foliage as well. So it's got that dark, sort of deep bronze-coloured foliage, which looks absolutely gorgeous. And then it's covered in those lovely deep, sort of purple flowers as well.
I love that colour.
Yeah, it's a really, really
honestly, the
deep,
colour
deep
of it
colour.
is amazing.
Sort of summer flowering as well, spring sort of into summer flowering, and they do sort of pop out odd flowers throughout the season. So there's always interest on this plant. But to me, for me personally, the flowers are secondary on this particular plant for me. I love just the actual foliage on this, that dark kind of foliage there. And you've got options with this. I like leaving these standards slightly kind of loose and open.
A bit more wild.
And wild and natural. But
if you want that tight ball, the lollipop shape, which some people do like, you can trim it back, you can clip it and keep it in that nice shape.
Yeah, all I'd say is if you're going to trim it, if you want to trim it now, and then any new growth that comes back, just leave that because that will be your flower wood for next year.
So you could wait until the end of the season. So you could wait until autumn, trim it in autumn, and then the new growth that comes through in spring would have the new flowers. Or would you not?
No, because it's the
it needs that new growth.
Yeah, it's the previous year's growth. Yeah,
so you don't want to leave it too late.
No,
to
so
trim this.
all this new wood here will be your flowering wood for next year. But it's, you know, you could trim it now because it will be enough time for more new wood to come that will flower next year as well.
So the perfect thing is after it's finished flowering, then prune it back, leave it alone until the following year and after it's finished flowering again.
Or just leave it permanently if you want. It's up to you. If you don't want to trim, just leave to go wild.
Lovely. 511536 is the item number if you want to go for the Weigela. It is a standard. Please don't underestimate the kind of work that has to go into creating that standard shape, that lovely tall straight stem that you get on there with that ball of colour at the top. That takes some really skilled work. You know, probably a good few years worth of work before it comes to us here. £10 saving on here, $39.99 is the RRP, but we are bringing it to you for £29.99 as long as you use the code. It's all about the offer code YGTV2524, which not only gives you your savings, but it also gives you your free gift today. This is the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster Complete Fertiliser. Perfect for your roses, But if you haven't got roses, don't worry, you can still use this. It's an absolutely brilliant feed for everything else in your garden at the same time. Put the code in, this will go automatically into your basket, so don't worry about that at all. Just enter the code YGTV2524. Right, next we're going to move on to some more cannas. Over there we had the collection of cannas, 3 different types. We've got 2 completely different varieties over here. This one is called Canna Tropicana. I've just got to talk to you about the deal first, because this is slightly complicated. You can go for 1, 2 or 3. On this item number, 560606, you can go for 1 for £12.99, or you can double up and go for 2 for £17.99. Make sure you put the code in, put 2 in your basket. It's only £5 more to go for 2 of them. Or if you go for a separate item number, you want 3 of them, 560955, it's going to be £22.97. So the value, really, the best value is going to be in the 3-pack at £22.97. But you do have the option on the other item number to go for 1 of these for £12.99 or 2 for £17.99. So it's £12.99 each for 1, £8.99 each for 2, or £7.66 each if you want to add in and go for 3 of them on the item number 560955. Options, 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 options. You've got the choice of what you want to do. I love this one though. I'm finding it difficult to pick a favourite. I do love them all, but I think I'm edging towards this one being the favourite, because I just want you to check out the leaf colour and the stripes that you've got.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, look at that rainbow stripe of colour that we have got on that beautiful banana-shaped leaf there. That is absolutely incredible. And from this side, because there's lights over there, the light shining through these are it really illuminates those leaves. It's incredible. But of course, it's not just about the foliage. You are going to get some absolutely beautiful flowers on here as well. But if it were just foliage, I'd be super happy.
Yeah, the foliage is magnificent on those. And what I can't believe, this one here, I'm going to lift this one up, because what I can't believe is how have we got that much plant. Hang on. Oh, look at that.
Rooty beauty.
That stunning root system on there.
That is amazing, isn't it? So strong, so healthy.
Yeah, and in this tiny, tiny 9-centimetre pot, to get that much plant is absolutely phenomenal. First, that's because the compost we use, but also the love and care we put in. And this, I'm pretty sure this will flower for you this year, because again,
you can feel how solid it is.
The thickness of the stem there with that sort of flower bud down there that, in a few weeks' time is definitely going to sort of, come up and flower for you. These ones eventually get to about 1.2 metres tall. So good for kind of big statement plants, fantastic for pots. And, that is...
a collection of those.
It's just incredible.
Like, if you were to multi-buy on this, so it's just, look, you've got the option, as I said, 1, 2 or 3, but if you're going for the 3-pack and you've got 2 3-packs, and you've got 6 of these, those planted like that en masse, that would be incredible,
would be magnificent. Yeah. Now, you've got some options with these as well, because these ones, we're not actually sort of saying these ones are hardy. We're not giving these the lifetime guarantee, these ones. But what you could do if you wanted to with these, you could do what sort of I call like plunge planting. So you could grow these in quite a large pot, and then in the spring plunge the plant and the pot into the ground,
right,
and just leave them to grow in the ground in the pot throughout the summer.
And then all you're doing is digging the entire pot up.
And then the autumn, just lift the whole thing up.
Easy.
Yeah, and just put them somewhere.
But if I wanted to plant it in the borders, I could do that. All you've got to do then is, because they will form clumps too, won't they?
Yeah,
so you can lift, divide, plant those into individual pots, keep them frost-free, and plant them out again next year.
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to as well. You could, if you was in a really, really mould area, and again, this is your choice. I'm not telling you to do this, but you could do in a really, really mould area. Put a really thick layer of strolch over the top.
Right.
Yeah,
don't be measly with it.
No, about sort of 5 or 6 inch deep layer of strolch over the top, and then what I would do, I'd just put a bit of chicken wire over the top of that as well, and a few heavy stones around it just to keep it all in place. Yeah. And if the frost doesn't get down into the ground, chances are they'll come back. But you know, we can't guarantee that with those ones. But these will give you just so much drama, so much interest, so much stunning colour from midsummer right the way up into the autumn. And if you watch Gardener's World, Monty Don quite often has an area of his garden where he grows all these kinds of late summer tropical looking plants. Yeah. And oh goodness me, they give a most amazing display late summer into autumn.
All right, so 560955 is the item number if you want to go for the triple pack. This is the best value. It works out £7.60 something pence each, 7.66 for the triple pack. If you just want one or two, you need this item number, 560606. One of them is £12.99. If you put two in your basket and enter the code YGTV2524, it's just £5 more for the other one. So £17.99, £8.99 per plant there. We have more canners for you. We're going canner mad on the YGTV shows this morning. We've got the pack over there, the Hardy collection. You're going mad for those. You're loving those. But we do have these other options for you. We've just talked about Canna Tropicana. Now we're going to talk about the Canna Lily Canova Orchid. Now then, Adam, you don't like yellow flowers.
Well, not all.
He said it himself, honestly.
No, not all. I mean, for instance, I did love the Coreopsis we're bringing you last week. That I really loved.
Yeah.
But it's
not, yellow isn't your go-to, is it?
No, yellow isn't. Although I'm finding these days...
You're changing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm finding more. And when I saw these, I was like, oh, yeah, they're good. In fact, they're more good. These are just stunning.
Check out the market. I mean, look at how many petals you've got on there. They're just so petalicious. But look at the markings that you've got on these beautiful flowers. I think they are absolutely stunning,
It's almost kind of like a leopard kind of print, isn't it, on there? I mean,
it's gorgeous.
It is knockout. I mean, and it's so bright.
Price is knockout as well. Look, it's a half-price deal.
Yeah.
Three of them for $14.97.
And look how established they are as well.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? Let's see if we can take one out.
These will eventually get to about 75 centimetres tall, these ones.
So they're not as tall as the others.
Not quite as tall as the others.
Particularly if you're going for multiples of your canners, actually. If you're going for all the different varieties, you can plant them together and have some in the front and some at the back.
Do they? But
I don't think they do.
No.
Hang on, we've got two stems coming out of this pot as well, by the way.
See, well, that's good.
It is well in here, so I'm just giving it a squeeze. So about 75 centimetres.
Yep, about 75 centimetres.
And flowering now.
Yeah, flowering now. I mean, these are probably flowering a little bit. Oh, lovely roots on there. I mean, look at that.
Lovely roots.
That is such a super.
These are going to flower all summer, are they?
Yeah, I mean, these will kind of keep flowering. So, but I mean, these are flowering slightly earlier than they would normally because we've sort of had them under glass and stuff. So probably what you'll find next year when when they come back for you next year, they'll flower slightly later. Normally, canners sort of more like midsummer, kind of right into autumn. That's their time when they really get going and give you these huge, sumptuous, really incredible, delicious displays. And sometimes you see in parks and places like that, or places like Kew Gardens where they've got these huge, great big sort of beds set in lawns and stuff. They use canners as a centre feature, and then they sort of plant all bedding plants around them because they just give so much drama, so much interest.
They're definitely a thriller, aren't they?
They are a thriller.
These are not a filler.
No, these
are a thriller for sure.
Yeah, not the filler. These are the thriller. I mean, goodness me, look at those becks. They are just magnificent, aren't they?
Yeah, I love. Honestly, as I said to you earlier, the few walks that we've done around the nursery, every time we pass these, we are. I'm like a magnet, drawn to them. We've got to have these, Stu. We've got to have these on the show. We have finally got them. Thank you, Ryan. 450160 is the item number. We've got them for £5 cheaper than online, than on the website. They're $19.97 online with their deal. But our deal is even better because we've got an extra £5 off and you get a free gift, which is your ultimate rose bloom booster worth £4.99. Don't worry if you haven't got any roses in your garden. This will work on all the other plants as well, so it's brilliant.
You can buy them thanks to Ryan. I'll go now.
Send help. Send help. Right, let's move on. I'm only joking. I love working with Adam. Right, we're moving on to the Agapanthus
She only says that. She hates it, really.
No.
She can't stand it.
We're moving on to Agapanthus fireworks here. Now, this is a double-up deal. You can go for one for £12.99 or for just £4 more. You can get two of the Agapanthus fireworks. They're in the 9cm pot. These aren't Agapanthus fireworks. They are Agapanthus fireworks. Do you know, I'm sorry, they looked like the alliums, you know, the alliums with the...
Yeah, like the foal of the left of them.
they're not spherocephalus. Anyway, apologies, they looked like something else.
I'll tell you what, though.
Ignore me.
It's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous, like what's happening there. Look, I mean, a 9cm pot, leaves, and a huge, great big stem on the top. I mean,
look at that.
How do we get so much in such a ridiculous pot? With I mean, the secret for Agapanthus is they're one of,
right.
I mean, not a huge amount of plants, but so often when the plant gets pot bound, it becomes miserable. It becomes depressed.
Gives up.
It just gives up. It doesn't
You
flower.
can see how pot bound this is, because you can see, look, on the edge there, where the roots are really pushing against the pot. This is the perfect combination, isn't it? For
Go on, Bex, get it
the
out. Go on,
Agapanthus.
go on, go on,
I
go on.
mean, I'll
Go on.
try. Let's
Let's challenge Bex. Come on.
I've got no chance. No. You're going to have to cut this out. But this isn't...
But This
is what you want, by the way, from this. You might be annoyed about it with other plants, but actually this is exactly what you want from the Agapanthus.
Yeah.
You want it to be this.
Well,
it needs to be cut out.
But you see, the weird thing about Agapanthus is they will live in the same pot for practically, well, all their lives. And even if they're super, super pot bound, they'll flower really, really well. But then what I don't get about them, and I don't know how they do this as well, you plant them in the garden where there's lots of root space, and they still flower really, really well in the garden as well. So you can't stop them flowering, basically.
Can't.
So you don't need to think about having these in a huge pot. They'll flower for year after year in a slightly small pot where they're pot bound. But you can grow these in the garden as well, and they will give some really, really stunning displays. This one is so unusual that the fact the throat of the flower on the outside is that sort of deep, deep purple, and then it flushes to kind of almost like a soft purpley white at the end.
I love it. When it comes to Agapanthus, I think this is a knockout variety.
It is. There's one called Queen Mum that I adore as well. They're two of my sort of favourites of, I think it's Queen Mum or Queen Mother, just two of my most favourite Agapanthus. This one particularly because I love the markings on the, just on right at the base of the flower there at the back. You just see that deep purple, and then that soft purple just starting to open out. And these will form a ball of flower about the size of a tennis ball. So this is a stem, a really upright, strong, rigid stem that never needs staking, with this huge ball of, well, it looks like an exploding firework. You know when you go to those firework displays and you hear those really great big thud,
the big boom.
thud, and everybody looks up and up and up and up, and you think, and then bang, and you get those ones that just open out perfectly. That's what these flowers are like, these firework heads of flowers. And there's only one on there at the moment, but when these get going, it's not unusual to have 10, 15 stems of flower.
Somebody's front garden I walked past just the other day on my dog walk again. I don't know how long that Agapanthus has been there for, but I counted, and it was a good 16 or 17 stems coming out of that particular Agapanthus. One of them just starting to open, so as the others open, it's going to be incredible. If you think about it as cut flowers as well, how much an Agapanthus would cost you as a cut flower, I mean, you'd be paying a lot of money just for one of those. And once you've got these established and you've got multiples coming up at any one time, of course you can then, you've got enough to keep outside and enough to be able to bring inside as well, so you've got some cut flower displays. I just realised my mouth was exactly where that flower was. Anyway, Agapanthus fireworks, 561027 is the item number if you would like to go for that one. It's £12.99 for one, or just for £4 more, you can get two of these at £16.99. Put two in your basket if you want to go for the double up deal. Put two in and enter the code YGTV2524. That's how you get your deal. Otherwise, you'll end up paying full price for both, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to get the best deals available. Next, we've got our Citrus Grove collection. I've never grown citrus plants myself. I think I'd quite like to give it a go because they're quite easy to grow, aren't they? In here you're getting an orange, a lemon and a lime.
And a lime.
This is a great one because you're getting all your citruses in one.
You're getting all three there. Actually, I meant to, and I will definitely do it for Sunday. I've got a lemon tree in my back garden that's about as tall as me, which I actually inherited from a customer who's now emigrated to Australia.
Right.
And I always adored this lemon tree in her greenhouse in the garden. And
she gave it to you?
Yeah, she gave it to me. Yeah. Because she said to me, "So yeah, I can't take this with me. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to look after it." It's like,
I'll look after it for you. I'll send you updates. I'll send you pictures.
Yeah. So I'll take a picture of it and I'll bring it in to show you on Sunday. So I've got this lemon tree, which I'm really looking forward to getting lemons on in the future. And I've got it outside because lemon trees, the lemon and the orange can be hardy down to -5. They can actually survive all the way through a British winter, quite possibly. The lime can't. The lime is happy down to +5.
Yeah.
But so that needs to be sort of kept somewhere in the winter where it's not going to be too cold.
When it comes to citrus, the best thing to do is just give it all that same winter protection. If you treat them all the same, it's be fine. Put it out in the summertime.
Yeah.
Bring it in the winter time.
That's it.
Reduce the watering down though, because that's the most common problem with fruit trees in general, but citrus as well, is over watering in the winter.
Yeah, they want to be really, really dry when you keep them through the winter. But you know what? They are so easy to grow in the UK. I mean, I've seen over the years customers growing oranges, growing lemons, and you can get proper sized lemons and limes and oranges that you can use.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and they have the most intoxicatingly sweet flowers on as well. Really, really incredible sweet smelling white flowers that flower in the spring.
The other thing is that the foliage is also fragrant as well, isn't it? So I don't know which plant I've just taken this leaf off.
Well, you will, because I'm going to do the same as well, because
I don't know. It smells very citrusy, but now I've got to work out whether it's orange, lemon, or lime.
Because they do say that each leaf is very reminiscent.
That's a lemon.
Is that a lemon? Right. Well, I'm going to go for this one.
Let me see if I was right. Oh, that water just dripped right down my
I'd say.
Yes.
This is a lime. I'm going to say, is that lime? I bet it.
Oh.
Well, please be a lime. Please be a lime. Please be a lime. It's a lime.
Yes.
It's a lime.
So of course this one is the orange one as well. So it does mean that you can actually use the leaves in cooking too, can't you? Because you can use them, like if you put them into some rice while they're cooking, it'll give that lovely scent to and flavour to the rice as well. I don't want to pick all the leaves off.
But you've got those, you've got that evergreen foliage, so they're evergreen all the year round. Lovely, lovely, super glossy foliage. You've got the incredible, sweet smelling white flowers. And once they start fruit, I mean, these you've got to grow on, and they need to become slightly more mature plants.
You're not going to get fruit in the first year or two,
no,
are you?
No.
But look, it's an investment in the future, isn't it?
You've got to grow them on.
And I like getting baby plants and going through that process.
Well, that's the whole thing of gardening, isn't it? It's not all about instant, is it? It's about nurturing. It's about growing. And once they start to fruit as well, then the good thing about that is that you end up with fruit at all different stages.
Yeah.
So you have baby fruits, you'll have semi-mature fruits, you'll have mature fruits.
Because they take a while to mature, don't they? They can take a year sometimes to mature.
Can.
So you can have blossom, you can have fruits on the tree at the same time.
Yeah, and because each year they flower, so once they get going, then you've got fruit at all different stages from year to year. Just one other little caveat to mention about these as well is they do like ericaceous compost as well. So if,
good point.
Yeah, so we've got that on our website. It's our professional compost, but it's an ericaceous type. So these like acid soil. So if you're going to pot them into ericaceous compost. But yeah, easy, simple to grow, really rewarding, evergreen, glossy foliage, fragrant foliage. You can use it in cooking. Oh, so gorgeous, sweet blossom as well.
Yeah.
Really, really worth a try.
You might want to think about going for the heavy duty pots with these as well. 340801 is the item number if you want to go for the Citrus Grove collection. 3 of those 9cm pots. You'll get the orange, the lemon and the lime. And it's a half price deal. Love a half price deal. We're taking £15 off that.
Oh, that's nice.
Stu, do we have the details for the heavy duty pots? Can we show that? Because I think that might be a good one to add into your basket as well. Just because, particularly if you want to, you know, move it in and out, it's much easier to do. And of course, these are commercial growing pots, the heavy-duty pots that we have. They have the extra drainage at the bottom and around the sides. They're nice and sturdy as well. They've got the carry handles on, making it just that bit easier to move things in and out. 130011 is the item number. You will get 4 of them. I promise you, you'll find something for the 4th one. I've got so many of these heavy-duty pots now, but that are all in use. They're not just sitting there doing nothing. I always find a use for my heavy-duty pots. One of the best things that you will add into your sort of hardware collection for your garden. Right, let's move on to the last item on here, and then we've got to get back to our favourites table, because that table, we might have nailed it this week. You're all loving what's on there. So if you haven't seen the favourites table yet, if you've only just joined us in the last sort of half an hour, stick around, because we've got some awesome things coming up. Hydrangea, the Serrata Euphoria Pink, is definitely one of the most awesome hydrangeas, isn't it? It's so pretty, this one.
Look at this plant. I mean, that plant is insane, isn't it?
I love it. I love the flowers and I love the foliage.
It's just like something from, well, I was going to say something then, but like, well, I can't really. Like, it's like a trip.
Okay. It's like you've had too much to drink.
Yeah. It's like, you know, people of the 60s will know what I'm talking about.
Isn't there something to do with Chelsea with this one? Didn't it, wasn't it winner or runner-up or something? I'm sure it was runner-up last year.
But look at that. I mean, it's got the most bonkers foliage. Very similar, actually, to the Taylor, the Acer Taylor.
Yeah,
because
the lovely variegation that you've got in there, the creams, the greens, the pinks as well.
Yeah, and the pink is most prominent, the foliage is most prominent on the new foliage.
Yes.
So the edge of the new foliage has got this salmon kind of lovely deep pink to it, and then
it's
that
mirrored
sort of,
in those flowers,
yeah,
isn't it?
And then it sort of fades down to this slightly kind of more sort of soft sort of white colour with a little hint of pink on there, but the leaves are really nice serrated shaped leaves, super interesting leaves. And look at these lovely, lovely pink flower heads.
Yeah, and they're not just pink, are they? There is a dusky kind of, I don't know, and again, Elaine, she's gone, but she normally helps us out with the colours of things. I love that tone, that shade of pink,
yeah,
and how it lightens just towards the centre, that lovely graduation.
Yeah, as the flower matures, you get that sort of, you know, that
Dead
brighter
classy,
kind of white in the middle there. This is a lace cap type of hydrangea as well. We call this the lace cap flower. This gets to about 60 centimetres tall, so it makes a fantastic pot plant, which is brilliant. So, you know, if you only got a small space, but you want to grow a hydrangea, now you can. But I just adore the fact that the foliage just seems to mimic the actual flowers as well. Just so interesting. Again, the foliage also reminds me of the foliage you get on a cornice or a dogwood. It's got that sort of same shape. But, you know, 3 different colours of foliage there. The greens, the pinks, the kind of that whitish sort of colour as well. And then these magnificent flower heads. And another thing that's, you know, just looking at this one, this plant is only about 1/3 of the height it's going to be, but look how young this plant is. But already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magnificent flower heads on this hydrangea as well. So it's not the kind of hydrangea you've got to wait years for flower. I mean, chances are the one we're going to send out to you will already have the flowers on it, and leave those flower heads on. Even when they sort of start to lose their colour, they still look great structurally, really interesting, just as the flower structure itself. Or you can cut them off and dry them and have them as dried flowers as well, if you wanted to. That's another option. And also, I did read up about this one as well. Apparently, again, if you grow this in acid soil or ericaceous compost, you can get the flower colour to change. It'll go to kind of...
I quite like that about certain hydrangeas. Obviously, some hydrangeas are very stable when it comes to the colour, depending on the soil that they're put in. But I quite like that you get a colour changing thing going on.
Yeah.
So it might be nice to have. I mean, if you want to, you could plant one in a more ericaceous and one in a more alkaline, and see the difference in the colour.
You get more of a purpley blue kind of flower develop on that, which is interesting. Or you don't even need to do that if you don't want to. If you've got some of our compost, you can get hydrangea colouring compound, which you can water in, and that will do the same thing. That will change the colour for you. Because really, on the lace cap and the mop heads, you can get those to change colour. Whereas on the the paniculata type, they tend to always keep their true colours. But these you can have a bit of fun with if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. 511522. Oh, I quite like that item item number. That's good. 511 522 is the item number if you want to go for the Hydrangea Serrata, the Euphoria Pink. If you want to place an order, you go to our website to do that. It's YouGarden.com. Or we do have a phone line that you can speak to an actual real person. How rare is that these days? 0844 502 0050. But if you are on the phone line, do tell the operator that you've got an amazing offer code to use. It is YGTV2524. That's how you're going to get your savings. Right, I think we need to head back over to the favourites table, don't we, Stu?
Come on, let's get over there.
Oh, no, he wants to remind you of the canners first. That is correct, yes, because we've got a few different varieties of canners. You're loving all of them, to be perfectly honest with you, but let's start with the Tropicana. This one is one where we've got a few different options. So you can go for a triple pack of your Canna Tropicana. 3 9cm pots here. Look at that beauty. Look at the foliage. How stunning is it? It's almost like a rainbow effect just on the foliage alone. And then you get those lovely flower spikes coming out of the top of there. It's a £16 saving if you go for the three 9cm pots. So 560955 breaks down to £7.66 per plant on this one. However, if you don't want to go for 3 of the Tropicana, you do have an option on this other item number where you can go for either 1 or 2. So 560606, 1 would be £12.99 or 2 would be £17.99. If you double up, you put 2 in your basket and enter the code YGTV2524. That's how you access the saving. So it's up to you. Go for 1 or 2 on this item number or go for the triple pack on the previous item number if you choose to. Next up we have the other canna, which is the orchid variety. We love this colour. Check out those beautiful golden yellow, orangey coloured flowers that you've got on there. They are really, really beautiful, lovely markings. 3 9cm pots and it's a half price deal. £15 saving on there, or get an extra 10%. Join the club. Why not? Join us in the club. You'll get an extra 10% discount on all of the plants, pots and composts that you order from us here at YGTV. If you're a normal YouGarden customer, we often have a better price by using our code and watching us on YGTV. 450160 is the item number if you want to go for the Canna Canova Orchid Flowered. And then we're going to come back to the collection. So it's this one we've got in front of us, the Canna Lily Canova collection, where you are getting 3 separate varieties. So this is, I mean, I'd love to go for all of them. I'd love to create a gorgeous Canna Lily display. I mean, how tropical and gorgeous that would look. But if you want a little bit of everything, this is the collection to go for, because it's a half-price deal as well on this one. It's £14.97. We've taken £15 off, but you're getting 1 each of these absolutely beautiful ones. I love them all, but I think I particularly like this one because you've got that lovely yellow outline on there. This one, which is in bud and about to open, you get a lovely kind of peachy, pinky colour on there, and of course you've got this bright, gorgeous scarlet red one at the back, which actually has quite a dark kind of burgundy stem on there, and then you've got the contrast with the darker foliage. I mean, there's so much going on with this collection, isn't there?
There is. I'm looking forward to that peachy one coming into flower as well.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite colour on these, but all these, 3 of these are just magnificent. I mean, look at that blood red one there. That is such a stunning, deep red colour, and then the bicoloured one there with the sort of orange in the middle and then the yellow around the outside. These are almost like avatar kind of flowers. They seem sort of, otherworldly. They're just so extraordinary, so different, so unusual. Really well established, such healthy plants. Again, I find it so strange how we get so much plant out of such a tiny little pot. Fabulous root system on these, which we'll show you in a moment. But these are going to add grandeur, these are going to add spectacle, these are going to be real statement plants. These ones have a lifetime guarantee. So, we're saying these ones are hardy, they're going to get through the winter. They might need a little bit of help in the sort of the coldest areas, where you can cover the crown of the plant with a thick layer of strolch or straw or wood chippings or a bark mulch or something like that. But let's not talk about the winter. Let's think about the glory and the joy these are going to bring us in the coming months, which from sort of now through July, August into September. Cannas can even go right the way up into October if there aren't any frosts. Eventually these will get taller than this. Year on year they'll get a little bit taller. These will get to sort of about 75 centimetres to sort of a metre tall eventually. But they just add such drama, and if you want to create sort of a hot border or a hotbed in your garden, these will do that. You know, underplant these with the geraniums, for example, the red geranium that we've got, or other sort of orange plants. You could plant them with the heleniums, because the heleniums have got those lovely orangey, fiery colours as well. So all of a sudden you're creating that hot border, that Mediterranean kind of feel. And look at the leaves on two of these varieties. We're giving you the leaves of that lovely sort of chocolatey colour. I just like the size of the leaves, the grandeur of the leaves as well. They'll get bigger once the plants get more established. These leaves could get sort of 2 to 3 times the size of that eventually. But it's just fantastic that such small plants are already giving so much punch and impact even at that stage.
They're definitely impactful, aren't they? These aren't, you know, we often talk about thrillers and fillers and spillers and killers. No, none of us are killers. But these are definite thrillers in the garden. These want the attention, I think. You know, when you're planting things around it, it's going to be to help to draw the attention to these. That's what you want, isn't it?
They are statement plants. As I say, sometimes when you see these park displays, I remember some years ago we went up to Scotland. Aviemore. We went to Aviemore, and they had a sort of a park display there, a lovely little park at the side, and they had these lovely oval beds in the lawns, and cannas were in the middle of these lawns, just looking so statuesque and statement-like and real huge centerpieces. And then they planted those very traditional bedding displays around the cannas. It looked extraordinary.
They do look like flowers that, you know, are here and gone very quickly. They look like, well, first of all, they look like they're going to be hard work. They look like you need to be an expert gardener, but they also look like flowers that will disappear very quickly. No,
they flower for a good 2 or 3 months. Yeah, they flower for a long, long period of time. They keep sending these little flower spikes out of the top with little flushes of flower. And once they become established, they're not just single stem like the ones you see here. You can get 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of stems. They form almost a little clump that you can lift and divide if you want to, and create extra plants. So there's drama with these ones, and if you have got that worry about the hardiness, say if you look when you order these, you'll see the little snowflake symbol, and that basically means if you give them all the care and attention we recommend, and these fail for you, we will replace these plants for you. You just need to pay the P&P again next time, but we'll send you out some fresh replacement plants. So now you can have that bravery and that confidence to try cannas if you've never grown them before.
They're definitely much easier to look after than their appearance suggests. Certain plants look like they're going to be divas, and they are, but these look like they're going to be divas, and they're not.
They're not. No, they're much, much tougher than you actually give them credit for. In fact, who is the chap who tropical garden man?
East Coast Garden.
East Coast Garden. Nathan. Yeah, Nathan grows these, and I mean, not all the ones we're bringing you today, Hardy, but Nathan was saying in his experience, a lot of these are hardy. Cannas are hardy, and we'll get through.
Yeah, and he was saying
British
he lifts
winters.
them every year, divides them, pots them up, and then just plants them out again next year, and it's really, really easy and simple to do. I remember that message from a couple of weeks ago. Right, the collection is going mental today. You're absolutely loving it. I can totally see why. Lovely, tropical, gorgeous, bright coloured flowers that you're going to have in there, and of course, it's not just about the flowers. You've got all that gorgeous foliage and just on there as well. It's a half price deal, £15 we've taken off the price of that collection. Thank you to our head gardener and the commercial team for putting that one together for us. 450164 is the item number if you would like to go for that one.
Do you know why you can't have these?
Oh, here we go. What?
Because you cannot fit any more in. Your garden's rammed.
What a canny deal. Thank you, Stu. I'm not good with it. I'm not good with those things. All right, let's talk about the lobelia, the Crystal Palace. I'm a big fan of lobelia, and I've been saying it for ages. Don't just use it as a filler. I mean, use it as a filler. It's great. I've got it as a filler in my hanging baskets. I've put it around the bottom of some other pots to underplant some other things. But I really want to elevate your thinking of lobelia. If you just use it as a filler, then I'd like you to take a pack of these, or just a few of these, and pot them up in a pot all by themselves. Doesn't matter what size pot you've got, even if it's just one of the little terrinos, or even it's a big 30 centimetre pot. Fill that pot with these. and just sit back and wait, because I promise you it will be one of the best looking pot displays that you've got in your garden this summer. They grow really quickly, they flower prolifically, and there's very little you need to do to them. To be honest, I'm even going to say, don't even feed these. Yeah, like genuinely, we always bang on about making sure you feed your plants. Don't just water them, they won't feed. You don't need to with these. They just do their thing.
They really do just do their thing as well. And you were saying, about a thriller, fillers and thrillers. Well, this is both. This is a filler and a thriller, because we was doing that analogy the other day as well, when we were saying sometimes we've all got a certain friend, haven't we, that when we go out in a big group, that friend can be a little bit shy, a little bit reticent, kind of doesn't really come out of their shell. And you go out with that person one-to-one, and you see a whole new side to that person, a new character, a new personality, don't you? And that's like this lobelia. You're always used to jamming lobelia into little nooks and crannies to try and fill those spaces. I mean, sometimes in the past when I've created my own hanging baskets, I'm making this little tiny, and you really forcing that little plug in. You think, oh, that's going to be all right. You hear all the roots go crunch, crunch, and you think, poor little thing, and expecting it to compete with all these other plants and look wonderful. And so often it does, and it kind of tries to make its way through all the other plants, but suddenly when you plant it on its own, it looks brilliant. I mean, it just comes to its own light, doesn't it? It comes into its own being and creates these really, really big displays. And like I said to you earlier, inadvertently last year I had 5 or 6 little lobelia left over. I was doing a little video for another company that I do work for, and I just needed a few bedding plants on the table for a bit of decoration. And I thought, I've got these 6 lobelia, I've got nowhere in the garden to put them, and I just had a little terracotta pot. I popped them in there, and I had one of these sort of bird stands, but with a sundial thing on the top. The sundial bit had gone missing. I sat this little pot of lobelia on the top all summer long, just an explosion of blue, and I was so chuffed.
Through into autumn as well. Like I ended up ripping up my lobelia last year before it had finished, because I needed those pots for my spring bulbs, and it was such a shame because it was still going, it was still happy. It really does just, I mean, it brings a smile to my face, honestly. I love lobelia. 410069 is the item number. This is the Crystal Palace blue, which is just that lovely, royal, rich blue that you've got there, the colour of my shirt today. And it is a massive saving, more than half price here. £15.99 is your saving. You're just paying £9.99 for 20 of these garden-ready plants. And of course, that's just £8.99 if you are in the club as well, because you get that extra 10% discount. Make sure you use the code YGTV2524. That's how you get your discount. It's also how you get your free gift, which is a packet of our Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. It's for use on your roses, which is going to really help you to get all of those blooms on your roses and keep them going for longer and get even more of them. But it's also an amazing fertiliser for you to use throughout your garden. So please don't think that it's a rubbish-free gift, because I haven't got any roses in my garden. It is a fantastic free gift for everybody, because you can use this. We've also got, if you haven't got any roses in your garden, why not? We've got some to show you soon. We've got a trailing rose and we've got a rose bush to show you.
That reminds me of the Paxo advert from years ago. Remember, they said Paxo Rooster Booster.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was a Paxo Rooster Booster. Yeah, I always remember that. Yeah, this is not your Paxo, but your Rose Rooter Booster.
Okay, so moving on from your lobelia, Adam has actually suggested, if you're going for your lobelia, go for a rigeron, or a rigeron as you call it, and actually have these sort of planted together and meandering into each other.
When I look at the 2 cards there side by side, I'm just thinking, I'm just kind of thinking, imagine that sort of a little pop of the that blue there, in between the kind of the white and the pink.
I mean, look, your lobelia is your annual, but your rigeron is
your perennial.
And it is tough and it's hardy. So it'll be beautiful for this season. The lobelia will die off. But then if you like it, you can just plant some lobelia with it next year again,
go for it. Lobelia is quite strange because that will seed as well. I've seen lobelia, and I've seen sometimes where people have had hanging baskets of lobelia in. The following year, if it's block paving or something, little lobelia seedlings coming up underneath, where it's seeded itself.
That might happen to me this year. Yeah,
and Busy Lizzie's do the same as well, by the way. But
very good.
Yeah, a rigeron is brilliant because we've got this in our front garden. My other half, John, he plants this in the front garden, in his garden. Not my garden, because his at the front, mine's at the back. Yeah, the bungalow separates the war zone. But and the great thing with this erigeron or fleabane is it's seeded all over the front garden. It's brilliant. It's come up, in fact, sort of between the wall of our bungalow, and then we've got a little block paving path that goes round. It's just come up right at the very edge, and it's grown all these little nooks and crannies where you couldn't possibly plant anything because it's like a 3 millimetre gap between one hard surface and another. This is flowering along the base of the wall, and it's coming up all between the other plants, and it doesn't invade, it doesn't take over the other plants and kind of subjugate them and wipe them out. It grows with them, and it
sort of meanders in, doesn't it? You know, it plays well, it mixes in, but if it does get a bit unruly and starts growing too big, you hack it back, and that is my technical term. Normally I'll say you'll trim it or you'll prune it. No, you can hack this back, like really seriously, cut it back to the shape and size you want it to be, and it will be absolutely fine. It's so tough, it's so hardy, it's so easy to grow, and it gives a lovely colour change, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, because the flowers start off with that sort of purpley, sort of pink colour, and then as the flowers open out and get more and more mature, they gradually kind of wash out to a lovely kind of white, bright white colour. And some of the flowers are in between. They have sort of white with purple on the edge of the petals. And again, it's one of those kind of plants where you think, oh, you look at that, you think, oh, there's 2 or 3 different varieties in there. Look, they've got a purple one, they've got a white one, they've got a little bicoloured one there. It's all the same plant. It's just about the maturity of the flower. And another good thing about erigeron as well, they will grow in the most dreadfully poor soils. They will grow.
You don't need rich soil at all for these. I mean, if you've got it, great, but
yeah, I mean, they grow in really dry soils, super dry soils. They'll grow in really hot, dry, sunny positions, stony, gravelly soils. In fact, if you was to put this in really rich soil, you'd probably find you get masses of foliage,
not as many flowers.
Not as many flowers.
That's the problem I've made with my agapanthus.
Yeah, you've spoilt them.
I've spoilt them. I put them in our premium professional compost, and so they're like, I'll give you a few leaves.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any flowers.
Because I'm not stressed. I've got years to flower and produce seeds.
I need to put it in really poor soil, and then I'm going to get flowers.
And then they're going to be like, oh, goodness me.
Yeah, I've learned.
I'm under threat now. I've got to produce seed. I've got to flower.
Learning process.
Yeah. You spoil plants too much, and
they don't do what you want them to do.
Like your kids, you spoil your kids too much, and
Don't talk to me about that.
They never want to leave home, do they? You've got to stop doing the washing and start giving them really bad food, and then they want to leave.
One of them's definitely leaving. The other one, we might stick around for a bit longer. We'll see.
25 years? Another 25 years?
No.
They're an investment, though, for when you're old age. They can look after you then.
They're not going to look after me, are they?
Well,
there's no chance of them sticking around to look after me.
Well, if you bolt all the doors and don't let them go.
Definitely not the oldest one. He's leaving as soon as he can, I reckon. 16, out the door.
He'll be back when he finds his loved one, and then he wants money for the marriage or the civil ceremony or whatever it's going to be.
They need a babysitter.
Yeah, and they'll be, Mum, Dad. It's like, yeah.
Let's see. Anyway, where did we get to? Sorry, kids. 3 9cm pots for your erigeron. Huge saving, I need some glasses. £19.98 saving on there. They should be £9.99 each. The saving on the website is £20 for that. That's great, isn't it? Not YGTV. We get an extra £10 off that as well, so it's just £9.99 or £8.99 if you're in the club. Definitely add that one into your basket. Even if you've got some erigeron already in your garden, you can never have too much erigeron. Rock gardens. Rockeries is the word I'm looking for.
Could be a rock garden.
Rockeries.
Rocks are really easy to grow. They need very little attention.
Edges of borders, it really softens those edges of borders. So just put it into the borders to fill in those gaps. Mine grows next to the...
Go and sit down, dear. I'll take over.
What's it called?
I don't know. What, your house? Goes next to your what? Your husband?
Blue geranium roseanne.
Oh, right.
Mine grows next to the geranium roseanne, and it's just sort of mingling into each other, and it's perfect. All 3 borders, which are all slightly different. One's more sunny, one's more shady, one's a mixture of the 2, and the erigeron grows beautifully in all of those. Let's move on to the Garvinia, the gerberas. I'm going to let Adam talk for a second. I'm just going to compose myself.
Well, the gerberas are incredible, and the weird thing is when people say to me, these are hardy. I find that really, really strange because years ago, I mean, I've been gardening since I was 5 years of age. I'm 60 next year, so I've been gardening for pretty much 55 years. And when I was a youngster and I was gardening, plants like gerbera were house plants. They were cut flowers. You could never, ever grow gerberas outside. The fact that now with modern breeding, we've come up with gerberas that can go down to -8 is absolutely phenomenal because they're going to get through pretty much most British winters. And if you're in an even colder area than that, you can grow these in pots because these are fabulous for pots. They're troughs, but they will do well in beds and borders as well. And you can get up to 50 flowers per plant. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. I was talking to Bex earlier and Bex was saying, and they're on lovely, long, really rigid, straight stems. The flowers can be almost the width of the top of a teacup. And you get so many flowers, you can actually cut some of these flowers and have them as cut flowers if you want to, as well as enjoying them growing in the garden. And the pots, for example, I mean, Bex has done this really fancy thing where she's grown in the Bellagio pot collection that we've got. So you've got that lovely kind of mix of really funky flower colour in a really funky coloured pot.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's really pretty.
I like the way you've gone off rail there as well. Like, you've just gone really different.
Yeah, the contrast of the colours is really beautiful, and it was so bright, so colourful all through the year last year, and of course, I've kept them for this year, and they're coming up and they're looking beautiful again this year as well. You get so many flowers, lovely straight stems, cut them and bring them in, but you'll get so many of them all the way through the summer. They start in June, they keep going July, August, September, and I was even getting flowers into October last year as well because it was nice and mild. 3 7-centimetre pots is what you are getting. So that is one 3-centimetre pot. That one actually has flower buds there. You can see them right down at the bottom. Those are ready to start growing upwards. They do grow up really quickly as well. I mean, you're looking at those going, they're tiny, they're going to take ages. Once you get those planted, honestly, it's amazing how quick those are going to grow. But it's a buy one, get one free. So 3 of those pots under the item code 561198. Put one of those items into your basket, put the code in YGTV2524, and we'll put the other 3 in for you. So there are 6 in this little tub that you can see here. Look at the amount of foliage that we've got on those 6 plants. It really is luscious and gorgeous.
It is great. And it's weird because the foliage, for me, when I looked at the pictures of yours just now, that the way the foliage grows in that kind of rosette, kind of lovely, downward position, it just really highlights,
elevates them,
the flowers, doesn't it?
Totally. And if you want the Bellagio pots to go with them, it is actually a pack of 4 of those. You've got the pink, the yellow, the orange, and the red included. So if you want a pot for each of these, you will need to double up on this. It works out at £2 each. They used to be £4.99. That is the label on the bottom there, but under this deal it works out as £2 each. And then you could do what I've done. You could go in opposing colours, or you could match the colours and put the yellow in the yellow pot. It's entirely up to you. Just get those home and plant those because those are sunshine bright and happy looking flowers. Right, quickly on the erigeron. 2 things to tell you. Angela has just bought them, couldn't afford them everywhere else, but she has now bought them because of our amazing price on the erigeron. And she's used her club voucher, so she's got £5 off that because you get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers. It breaks down to £5 every 3 months, and she's used her £5 off those. So you'll have got those home. What's the price on the erigeron? £9.99. She's got it for a £5.
Yeah, that's
plus
pretty good,
probably
going
a 10% discount on there as well. Well done. And of course you've got a free gift worth £4.99 as well, which is the bloom booster. Use it on your roses, but also use it in the rest of the garden. Kathy is saying this is her 2nd year with her erigeron. Can I split this, please?
You probably cut, because erigeron normally comes from, if you sort of lift that plant up, you'll pretty much see it comes from a single stem. But what you will find is, if you look around, you'll probably find little seedlings from last year that are separate plants, and you can certainly lift and repot or grow them on somewhere else without a doubt.
Yeah, I did it with the bowls mauve yesterday. I was looking at that because it's spread out. But then I was lifting it, and it's spread, but it all comes from that one point.
Yeah.
So I can't divide it.
No.
Because when you lift the foliage and the flowers up, you'll be able to see it probably all comes from that central point right there.
Yeah, so it's difficult with plants like that.
Yeah.
You need sort of clump-forming plants really to be able to get that division to get separate
This is
plants.
sort of carpet forming rather than clump spreading.
Yeah, from a single stem.
But find the little seedlings, as Adam said.
Oh, it
Find
seeds
those.
about like crazy.
You'll be able to.
We all know forget-me-nots, don't you? Forget-me-not seed about the Rigeron do the same thing.
It's looking beautiful though.
It's
you
lovely,
too.
isn't it?
That's looking amazing.
Yeah, so
Well
colourful.
done.
Happy, isn't it? It's a happy, cheery plant.
Happy plant. Now, Alison was saying she tried growing 2 of the hydrangea serrated. Hydrangea serrated. Oh my god. The Euphoria Pink.
Yes.
One in professional compost and one in ericaceous compost, but the one in ericaceous wasn't very happy, started to die off, so she's repotted it in the professional compost, hoping that she has saved it. So she was trying to get it to come out in those 2 different colours. I hope you've saved it as well, absolutely. Maybe it's the fact that it was in full ericaceous. Maybe it's slightly ericaceous.
Yeah,
Or should it be okay?
it should be. It should have been absolutely fine. It should have been.
There's no
absolutely...
reason it wouldn't be.
No. I mean, it's because everything else would be in the ericaceous compost. It's just about the fact there's kind of going to be no lime in that kind of compost. So
Should have been all right.
Yeah, I think that's just an anomaly. It's not.
Right.
It's not because of what you did. You did nothing wrong at all. Like I say, sometimes again, I've been gardening for thousands of years, and sometimes for no rhyme or reason, a plant in the right place.
It should have tried harder.
Just
That's what I say. That plant should have tried harder.
But it happens. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
We do planting schemes. Every time we do a planting scheme, whether it's 100 plants, 50 plants, 30 plants, I always say to somebody, I bet your bottom dollar, I can't tell you why, one of them will die. They always do. Goodness knows why. I never know why. I'll replace it. Sometimes that happens, you know.
All right, and good morning to Eleanor. She said something about being late, but because her cat was being a demon. Morning, everyone. She says, not late because my cat's being a little demon. I think that means she was a bit late because he's a little demon. Love that. Pets are great, aren't they?
They are.
All right, we've missed out the Helenium on this
did.
table. Remember, this is our favourites table. So we select what we think is going to be your favourites at the beginning of the week. That is on a Wednesday. And then we change this depending on what becomes your favourites, what you're buying the majority of. So far, I think we've nailed it, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. Helenium, though, I adore this plant. A bit like... Oh, and planting it with Rudbeckia would be amazing as well. So this and Rudbeckia, but a bit like Rudbeckia, it's about getting that sort of late summer into autumn colour. That's what you're getting with this, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's the great thing, Bex, because these start flowering about midsummer, and then they just keep flowering and flowering and flowering. They'll form clumps that sort of gradually get bigger and bigger year on year. It wouldn't be unusual once a clump is established to have 20, 30 kind of stems coming up, giving you these lovely upright flowers, and then the petals do this sort of great little thing where the petals kind of drop down, and they're almost like form like a little orange skirt around that sort of bud on the top there with all the pollen and the nectar. And you look down into those flowers, just such happy, bright flowers. They're going to be great for the pollinating insects, the bees, the butterflies, the lacewings. They're all, there you go, look, they're all going to love collecting that nectar and pollen. These are tough plants. They'll come up year after year after year. They're not particularly fussed about soil. They like a sunnier position, but they'll do well in a position that's sort of partially sunny, as long as they get a decent amount of sun each day. Grow them in pots if you want to, or containers. Really, really good for that. Generally, in most positions, they remain upright, even in sort of quite bad weather. But if you're growing them in a really, really exposed position, you could grow them through one of those little grids on a tripod leg just to support them as they grow up. Or you can do the Chelsea chop thing, where around about May time you can cut them down to about halfway. They reshoot and then they flower lower down on more stout stems. But generally, they're going to be absolutely fine. And this one here, it's got a little flower bud on the top. There's a flower bud there, there's a flower bud there. So where are we now? We're coming up to sort of 3rd week of June. So these are going to start flowering probably July, 1st, 2nd week of July. Then they'll go through July into August, and they can keep going even to September, October time.
And they're quite long lasting as well, aren't they? The flowers actually stay for quite a while on the plant.
They do,
so you get a good several weeks out of one flower on the plant. Some come and go very quickly, but not with Helenium. They do stick around.
Yeah, these will last a nice long time, and sometimes even as well, when they have finished flowering, if you trim them down by 3 or 4 inches to an outward facing leaf, sometimes you can get a little side shoot come out, and that will give you another flower. Not as big as the main flower, but will give you a few extra flowers.
Excellent. Well, it's 3 of those 9cm pots. Big saving on that one. £18 off that. It's just £11.97. Extra 10% if you're in the club. Make sure you use the offer code YGTV2524. That's how you get all of the deals, all of the savings. If there's a buy one get one free, a buy two get free, a saving on a particular item number, it's all unlocked by putting that code in when you place your order. And of course that also enters into your basket the free gift. We've kept this going every week that we've been here at YGTV. We've kept a special little offer going. 9 times out of 10 it's a free gift that you get. You don't get this as a normal YouGarden customer. If you're placing orders on the website, you get other deals and things. You never get a free gift, but you do by being a YGTV customer. This is the ultimate rose bloom booster, complete fertiliser, includes all key nutrients and minerals, including a mycorrhizal fungi. It's completely natural as well, but you don't have to have roses in your garden in order to use this. This is a great fertiliser to use for all of the plants in your garden.
And everybody loves a fungi because they're good to be with, isn't they?
Love a fungi, that's why we love you, Adam. Not saying you're old and mouldy. 100198 is the item number, but don't worry about that. All you need is the offer code YGTV2524. That will automatically be put into your basket for you. Right, we're starting off with the heavy duty pots. Write down the item numbers now. This is where we're doing a little review, so if you want to make a shopping list, this is the time. 130011, you're going to get 4 of the heavy duty pots. These are commercial growing pots. They've got drainage holes in the bottom and in the sides, which is what makes them fantastic for growing things in. I got so much grown in these: strawberries and fruit trees and an apple tree, a cordyline, some roses I've got growing in these as well. But I also use them as a garden shrub. I use them for collecting the weeds and the leaves. I've got some for using for, oh look at that, yeah, log storage. I've got some in the kitchen that I use to put the recycling in before it goes into the big bin outside. It's genuinely one of the best things that you will add into your basket. If you've never had these before, I do highly recommend. We've got a £2 saving there. It's £17.99 for all 4, but of course £16.19 if you're in the club, because you'll get extra 10% off. 130011 is your item number. Next, we've got the Lobelia, the Crystal Palace Blue. Apparently you are loving these. I'm so happy you are. I'm hoping that you're going to use some as fillers in your pots and your borders and things, but I'm really hoping you'll take our advice. If you've never done it before, just plant a bunch of these in a pot all by themselves. It will give the most gorgeous display for very little effort. Just plant them and water them occasionally. You don't even need to feed these, honestly. They're so free flowering and they just keep going all summer long. 410069 is the item number for the Lobelia Crystal Palace Blue. 20 garden ready plants for £9.99. £16 saving, yes please. Next, we've got another one from our favourites table, which is the Canna Lily collection. You are going to get 3 different Canna Lilies. Love that one there with that lovely sort of fiery red colour and the just bright yellow outline to them, that lovely kind of peachy pink colour in there, and you also get a gorgeous scarlet red colour as well. Red gold flame, bronze scarlet and bronze peach is what they are called. Bronze peach and the bronze scarlet, it refers to the leaf, and obviously the peach and scarlet refers to the flower. £15 saving. It's a half price deal to get all 3 of those home. I think they're gorgeous. It's not just about the flower here. The foliage is so gorgeous too. Very tropical kind of feel, but they're certainly easier to look after than their appearance suggests. This is what I say about me as well. 450164 is the item number, and it's a half price deal. Now then, we do have some more cannas. This one's the orchid flowering one. It's a gorgeous yellow colour, and it's got these sort of leopard marks on there as well, these sort of orange colours. 3 9-centimetre pots there, another half price deal, so £15 off, just $14.97 in your basket. Really lush, tropical, sort of semi-tall. We're talking about maybe between 3 and 4 feet these will eventually reach, but very easy. They will form little clumps that you can lift and divide and then plant out again next year. 450160 is the item number if you'd like to go for those beautiful cannas. Or we have the Tropicana. Now, I love them all. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do love every one of the cannas, but this one I think is my favourite because the stripings that you've got on those leaves, it's like a rainbow of colour just on the foliage. And then you've got these lovely orange coloured flowers that rise up out of the top of here as well. I just think it's such extra interest going on with the foliage here, and planted en masse like that. And particularly as these mature and spread, like, wow, what a display that gives. Half price deal, $14.97. We've taken £13 off, £15 off that one. So that's for the 3 9-centimetre pots on 450160. No, we've still got the orchid flower details on that one. Sorry, but guys, bear with. Here we go. It's the Tropicana. So it's a £16 saving down to $22.97, where you're going to get 3 of those 9-centimetre pots. But this is the one where you could go for 1 or 2. 560955 is for 3 9-centimetre pots, but if you only want to go for 1 or 2 of them, you need this item number 560606. 1 will be $12.99, or put 2 in your basket and enter the code and you'll get 2 for £17.99. Next, we've got the hydrangea, the serrata, the Euphoria Pink. Absolutely gorgeous hydrangea. I mean, you don't instantly look at that and think hydrangea, do you? I think it's a beautiful plant. It's got gorgeous pink flowers on there. I love the way that the colour graduates from that deeper pink into the sort of, you know, closer to a white in the centre. That is really interesting. But the foliage on here is incredible as well. It's variegated. You've got 3 different colours. The new foliage comes through tinted with this beautiful pink shade, and then it sort of ages and you get these lovely shades of green and cream in there as well. £3 saving on that one, £11.99, and this one was, I'm sure it's Chelsea Flower Show runner-up last year. Like, I think it's an amazing accolade for that one to have, and you can have it in your garden. 511522 is the item number. Asa Taylor is our next one. I mean, you know, if you watch us regularly, you know how much I love Acers. This one is a stunning variety of Acer. It's got the lovely dissected leaves on here. Again, another one with the variegation. You've got creams, you've got greens, you've got pinks, and you have this lovely colour changing thing that happens throughout the season while it is in leaf. Look at that. I haven't got the Taylor. I think I might need to add the Taylor into my collection. The beautiful pink colours that you've got on there, and then you've got those greens and creams as well. Lovely slow-growing plant acers. They are calming, they are zen-like, they are absolutely beautiful. And if you've got smaller spaces and you don't want fast-growing, thuggish plants, acers are fantastic because of their slow-growing nature. Super hardy as well. They get through all the winters. You know, the only thing they really want is to be in a sheltered spot, so they don't want to be in the windiest area that you can give them. And dappled shade is a good one. If you haven't got dappled shade, part shade, they don't want to be in the baking hot sun. So a bit of morning sun, a bit of evening sun, fine. Just don't have them in full sun during the hottest part of the day. Do you do that? These will reward you for decades to come, honestly. 510524 is the item number, and a £10 saving on that one. Next, we've got the knockout deal. We've kept it on the oleander. This is the red one that we've got for you. Ruby, as we're going to call it, because it's not a scarlet red. It's a lovely ruby red. These are shots of them on our nursery. It was done in the last few weeks. The quality of these, the uniformity of these is absolutely incredible. If you want to go for one of them, you can get an amazing deal. They were $29.99. We're giving them now to you on a half-price deal, so £14.99, but we're going to recommend you go for that double up deal because you can get 2 for £19.98, so they work out at £10 each. If you only want one,
but you've got somebody that you want to buy a gift for. There's a birthday coming up, a thank you present, you know, just because present. Go for the double up deal because it'll cost you £10 to give somebody a present that they will have in their garden for many, many years to come. They flower all summer long. They're evergreen as well, so there's always something to look at. Wonderful in borders, excellent in pots. Just remember with these, please, that like with a lot of things in our gardens, you know, this one is toxic as for humans, for pets, so just think about that when you're buying them. I've got loads of plants in my garden that are toxic to the dog, but what I do is I teach him not to go near them, or I put them in a pot so that you can't get to them.
Makes sense.
It's like kids, isn't it? Got to teach them not to go in that cupboard where all the chemicals are.
Exactly, it's just common sense, isn't it, really, at the end of the day?
I know some animals you can't teach, but, you know, there's things you can do to keep them away, so it's up to you what you want to do with those. Right. What have we got coming up? Ooh, we've got some lovely things coming up, haven't we? We're going to start off with our roses. Do remember that the free gift today, with every single purchase that you make, is the ultimate rose bloom booster. This sachet here, it's not a you don't dilute it, do you?
No, this is actually you sort of mix it in with the soil. So if you're going to plant something new, just sort of line the bottom and the side of the hole with this, and then put your plant in. If you've got a plant in already, just sprinkle a couple of teaspoons around, just a little way away from the stems, and just hoe it in, and it'll do its thing.
Hoe it in. Yes, so it's great for roses, but you can also use it for everything else. So if you haven't got roses in your garden, please don't worry about that. The free gift will still be really useful to you, and it'll still give all of those amazing, you know, feed, all those amazing... give it feed, basically, for anything that you're planting, all those amazing benefits. But if you are going for a rose today, it's wonderful that that is included in your order as well. So we've got a climbing rose and we've got a non-climbing rose. We're going to start with the peach melba. This isn't a climber, this is a shrub rose, and it is beautiful, isn't it?
The melba is a climber,
Hang on, which one's the climber?
Yeah,
You're right. The melba is the climber. We're going on to Chandos Beauty, which is the non-climber. Apologies. So peach melba is the climbing rose. It was also Rose of the Year in 2023 as well.
Yeah, which was incredible, really. What an accolade, you know, to give that rose. And this is a climber that doesn't go too berserk either. This is going to be about 2.5 to 3 metres tall.
Yeah, because a lot of climbing roses can go a bit more than that,
crazy,
can't they?
Yeah. I mean, some climbing roses can get sort of right up to the gutter of the house and send out these huge, great big sort of canes. This, you know, is much more amenable for smaller gardens. So, you know, this is easy to grow up over a pergola.
Look at the colours on those flowers.
Well, I mean, I guess that's where the sort of the peach melba came in, didn't it?
I love those colours.
They're great, aren't they? They're really soft, sort of. I mean, you've got. In fact, do you know what? The colour range on those slightly reminds me of the begonia apricot shades, because you've got those kind of mixes, haven't you? Of sort of, there's a little bit of sort of pink in there, and there's a little bit of orange, a little bit of tangerine. Sort of different colours, and it will be one of those roses similar to some other plants we bought you today, like the Erigeron, one of those flowers that as it opens out and it matures, the flower colour slightly changes, which roses do quite a lot, don't they? Sometimes when they're kind of in bud, they're kind of quite a solid colour, and then as the flower matures, you get sort of more whites and yellows and other sort of colours creep in. This is a repeat flowering rose as well, or remontant is the posh term for that. So it will keep flowering. It's not going to be one huge display and then that's it for the rest of the summer. It's fragrant as well. You've got fragrance from this rose. I mean, it was Rose of the Year, so they're not going to give it Rose of the Year unless it's sort of got all those accolades.
And it's unusual for a climber, you know, to win a Rose of the Year award. Actually, the majority are the shrub roses or the hybrid teas or whatever. But for a climber to get it, that's a fantastic accolade.
Yeah, it is, because, I mean, there's oodles of climbers out there, sort of climbing roses, and some of them are too vigorous for people. You know, some aren't repeat flowering, some don't have particularly good disease resistance. This rose has all those accolades. You know, it's got the vigour, but it's not too vigorous. It's got the flower that repeat flowers. It's got flowers that are multicoloured and change colour as the bloom matures. It's got that disease resistance built in as well. So it's a rose that's going to be great in most gardens. You could grow this up over a little arbour or a pergola. You could grow this up through another plant if you wanted to, another shrub. But I mean, I always pick on poor old forsythia, for example. I mean, forsythia looks great in the spring with all its yellow flowers, but the rest of the year it could be, you know, it's just green and stuff, but, you know, why not grow the rose up through a forsythia or something different like that? You've kind of got those options, but you can see the quality of the plant that we're supplying to you here. I mean, this has got lovely, lovely, really healthy stems, new growth on here, which is really shiny and glossy. It's a real quality plant. That's lovely.
Oh my word! Vicky has sent us a picture and I am jealous. So basically she's saying this is all a bit overgrown after the rain. I want your garden, Vicky.
Look at that.
That is the garden, isn't it?
Do you know what? That is phenomenal. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal.
Roses in there, hollyhocks in there.
They've got some foxgloves, look.
What? Foxgloves, that's what I meant, actually, sorry.
Oh, yeah, look at the peony. I can't believe
Wow.
that peony's still going, because
wow.
that's quite late, that peony, but, oh, look at that. That is beautiful,
I want to get my
isn't it?
nose in that rose, that one right there.
You just know that's going to smell divine, don't you?
I want to stick my nose in that, please.
It's just got that look, hasn't it? Look how healthy the foliage is on those roses as well.
Yeah, really healthy. There's no rough edges on there, is there?
That is stunning.
Vicky, we love your garden. That is fantastic. Well done, you. Yeah, Stu's saying if you get the kettle on, we'll bring some cakes. I want to sit down, I want to just walk around that garden.
Can you just imagine the fragrance?
What is that one there? That's a beautiful rose right there, isn't it? Is that a rose?
That's peony.
Is that peony?
Yeah, and they smell nice as well. Peonies have lovely fragrance.
Oh, my word. Look at these clusters over here.
Yeah, I bet they smell gorgeous, those ones. Sometimes you can look at a rose and you just know it's going to smell gorgeous by looking at it, don't you? It's just got, although sometimes you do that thing, sometimes you walk up to a rose and think it's going to smell amazing. It's like, oh, doesn't have a fragrance. But sometimes they
Vicky,
surprise you.
I can't stop looking at your garden. Sorry, let's move on. We do have a spectacular smelling rose, actually, coming up next, don't we? Which is the Standos. Which is the Shandos.
The Shandos.
I don't know what's happened to me today. I've gone a bit giddy, haven't I? Right, this is the Shandos Beauty. Yeah, I need to get my giddiness out today, don't I? Because the boss man's here tomorrow. The head gardener is in the potting shed tomorrow. I've never done a show with the boss before, so I'm quite excited about that. Yes, we've got the beautiful Rose Shandos Beauty coming up next. Now, this is that is a classic beauty, isn't it? Look at the colours on that.
That's
a rose I want to stick my nose in as well.
Yeah, and you would want to as well, because that's got really spicy fragrances, this rose as well.
I actually remember smelling this. I went to Chelsea Flower Show, not this year. Couldn't get there this year because of work, but I did go last year, and I specifically remember going to the Harkness Rose stand and smelling the Shandos Beauty. It is stunning.
Yeah.
It is absolutely beautiful.
I mean, it's a stunning flower. It's a stunning fragrance. It's a really healthy rose as well. It's got the RHS of Award of Garden Merit, the AGM, and also it received the Rose Grower Gold Standard Award as well. So it's got both of those accolades, which is absolutely amazing. It's got super healthy, vibrant, glossy foliage. It's not hugely tall rose either. It gets to about 1 metre or so tall, so great rose for growing in a pot or a container if you haven't got a huge amount of space. But yeah, I mean, it grow quite happily out in the garden. It's a hybrid tea rose, and the hybrid tea rose is kind of how I would describe those Valentine Days kind of roses, those lovely upright straight stems with a great big flower bud on top. And what I particularly adore about the HT roses is the stages they go to, because you have that sort of classic flowering period on the rose where the flower bud just starts to open, and that looks marvellous, and then a few days later it opens just a little bit more, and then you get to this stage, and then just before the flower kind of finally goes, it opens right out and you see the stamens and and the pollen and everything in the middle. Oh, lovely. Beautiful rose.
I absolutely love it. 530069 is the item number. It will come to you in a 3 or a 4 litre pot. It is a £10 saving on there at £19.99. Absolutely stunning fragrance. Do you know how old these roses
These
might
roses
be?
are probably no more than a couple of years old, because what we used to, when I grew roses, that's my first job when I left school, worked for a rose grower. So we would, you'd plant the rootstocks in the ground, which would normally be like a wild type of rose, and then we'd bud those roses in the summer. So we put a little T shape in that root, and then you take a bud from the rose you want and slot it in.
Right.
Put a little bit of tape round, and then that would grow, and then we'd actually lift those roses the following spring or winter. So yeah, these are probably no more than a year and a half, 2 years old.
Wow, okay, interesting. I would have loved that kind of job. I wish I'd got into gardening earlier. I really do. No, it's fine, I found it.
Yeah, you well and truly made up for it though, Bex.
I found it, and I'm making up for it, yeah, but I just wish I'd found it earlier. Right, special note to viewers. There's a second free gift today. What's the second free gift today, Stu? A bag of mystery bulbs. Well, so every order's going to get that and a bag of mystery bulbs. How cool is that? All right, look. Don't know how long it's going to run for. Stu's telling me, hot off the press, brand new information. This is brand new information. Stu's just done a little example basket, and he was like, what is this going on here? But we've basically been told everybody's going to get a free bag of bulbs along with your free gift, which is the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. So fantastic. And 2 freebies this week.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Freebies in your basket. Love it.
Are they mystery bulbs, as in we don't know what ones we're sending out, or
I think it's just going to be a mixture of various different ones. So.
Oh, right. Wow. That's good, isn't it?
You get what you're given.
Yeah, I know. I love things like that.
I don't mind, it's free.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's nice, isn't it, to just...
I like a surprise.
Yeah, I do as well.
You don't get many surprises as you get older.
No, you don't. Because sometimes you know what you're planting, don't you? But sometimes you do find the odd thing and the label's gone or whatever, and you just... I wonder what that's going to turn out like.
Anyway, see what
it's good, isn't it? Yeah, I love doing that.
To be honest, every time I go in my garden, it's a surprise, because I'm not very good at labelling things. I'm not very good at remembering things. So I just plant stuff, and at the time, I'm like, there is a plan. When I do it, there's a plan. I'm like, I'm going to plant it there because of da-da-da-da-da. But then I forget I've done it. And then I go out in the garden, I'm like, ooh, what did I plant?
But it's like sometimes you see something coming up, don't you? And you're like, is that a plant? Is that a weed? And you're not sure. And even I'm not sure sometimes, and you leave it, don't you?
I do that all the time.
And sometimes when it starts to flower, it's like, oh, wow, that's... And then the other time it's like, oh, it's a bit of ragwort.
Yeah.
Bum, you know.
Pull it out.
Got to pull it out now.
It's fun. It's interesting. Right, let's move on. We've got another couple of items to show you on here. I can't believe how quick it's going today. We've only got about 25 minutes left. We're on to the beauty, the Hypericum Miracle Attraction. This was a firm favourite last week. I hope you haven't all bought it. I hope we've got lots of new viewers this week, because this one is... Okay, so my fantasy garden, the garden I'm always planning in my head. If I could start again from scratch, from having nothing in my garden... This would be on the list of plants that I plant in that garden. I absolutely adore this plant so much.
Well, the shot, Stu, look, that shot there. I mean, when you look at that, I mean, look at that. Look at that shot.
Oh, look at that flower.
I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, just look at that. I mean, there's so much to talk about on that plant.
Everything that happens with this plant is happening right now.
Yeah.
And happens with it for months on end.
It does. So
the stamens on that flower.
Isn't that wonderful?
Look at that.
They're like cat's whiskers, aren't they?
I adore that. I think
really
it's
like cat's
so
whiskers.
Pretty. Yeah, we could just stand here and go, look at that.
And then
that's all we need to do.
The actual flower buds. I mean, sort of, if you look in the sort of bottom right-hand corner there, a little cluster of flower buds that's about to come out.
Yeah.
Looks phenomenal.
These are all flower buds, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or are they? Because berries appear on this as well.
They're quite similar, because the flower buds are quite similar
to the berries.
Yeah. I think the thing with the flower buds is you see the little sepals are kind of wrapped around the base of the flower bud, whereas on the seed they've kind of recurved.
Got you.
And come away, so that's kind of how you can kind of tell the difference there.
Flowers, which are incredible. I mean, just the flower, just take the flower on its own. Just that yellow flower with that burst of stamens on there. I think that is so mesmerising. I can't stop looking at that. But then when you marry that in with
the different colours of the flower buds and the berries and the contrast against the foliage and the kind of burgundy, reddy coloured stems on there as well.
It's a joy, isn't it?
And it's a winter hardy plant.
Yeah, it's bone hardy, this plant. I mean, it'll get through every winter time. It's really not fussed about what soil it grows in. It's happy in most situations. I mean, I wouldn't plant it in deep shade, but, you know, if you want a plant that is as easy as can be, but, you know, really gives stunning results and looks so incredible, this is a plant to go for. You know, go for this Hypericum. There's almost something a bit Christmassy about it to me as well. It's just got a bit of a Christmassy feel to it. I think because of the berries and the buds and.
This is great used actually as stems of this are used as fillers within bouquets, aren't they? In cut flowers.
Yeah, very often. Yeah, you see these.
And you can see why with the amount of interest going on there with the flowers, the buds, the berries, and everything. You could use this for your cut flower displays, and it would last a long time.
It would, yeah, it would last absolutely ages. I've got a customer I look after, a place called Fifield, and she's got one of these shrubby Hypericums in her garden, and it has these sort of pink seed heads on that last right up until the autumn, even into the winter time. So even in the winter it looks good, and they can be semi-evergreen as well in the winter, depending how sort of mild or cold the winter is. Lovely upright kind of plant as well, nice neat habit. Get to about a metre and a half, so not a huge, great big kind of shrub. And, you know, Hypericums are native to the UK as well. They're starting to flower now, the native ones in the hedgerows and on the sides of embankments and places. I saw loads this morning coming into flower at the side of the A17. So you know it's going to be a really happy plant.
Speaking of natives, I found a bee orchid
the
other day. In the little patch of grass just by my house.
Oh, I'm so envious.
The most beautiful, and it's just one little bee orchid. Check out. Oh, I don't know if it's. Did I post it? Yeah, it's on my on my Instagram and Facebook. It is amazing. I've never seen one in person before, and it was so beautiful, which is native to us as well.
Yeah, well, and leave that to seed because
I'm not touching it. You're not allowed to touch wildflowers, are you? You're supposed to leave them.
A lady who I look after at the end of my street called Sue, and she's got a bee orchid come up in her lawn. Don't touch where it's come from.
Don't touch it.
And some other customers I look after, we did a planting scheme for. They've got a whole area in the garden with dozens and dozens of bee orchids.
I really wanted to dig it up. I really wanted to and put it in my garden, but you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to dig up wildflowers. You're not allowed to pick them.
No,
and I have left it where it is. I've been a very good girl. But it's right near where I live, and I was like,
I'm so envious, Bex, because
I'm envious of myself.
They really are stunningly beautiful bee orchids.
Anyway, sorry, that took me off on one. Hypericum Miracle Attraction 510890 is the item number. Remember, it's in my top 20 of all plants all time ever that should be in your fantasy garden. Here we've got next though. Oh, how much was that? £5 saving on that. Third off. Next we've got Euonymus. Now this one is a fantastic variety of Euonymus. This is called Fortuna. It's the emerald gold. 3 9cm pots you are getting in this particular collection, and again a stonking saving here, £18 off. We've taken £6 off each of these pots. It's £11 and 97 pence for Euonymus. And now you were talking to me earlier on about Euonymus and how valuable this is to put in people's gardens.
Yeah, Euonymus Fortuna, emerald and gold, and there's another one called Emerald Gaiety, and that's got silvery coloured foliage, and I often plant the gold one and the silver one in the kind of the same areas together.
Yeah, you can see why.
Euonymus are absolutely glorious. I love Euonymus. They're evergreen, they're happy, they're cheerful. The new foliage, when the foliage is starting to mature a little bit more now, but when the new foliage first comes out in the spring, it is such a bright, buttery yellow, and in the spring sunlight, it's the yellowness of daffodils. It really is, and these are such tough, robust, hardy plants. They'll get through any winter. They're really drought tolerant. They'll grow in full sun. They'll grow in shade. They'll grow in poor soils, rich soils. They'll grow under trees. They'll grow on embankments. They make fabulous ground cover. I just adore them. They're just one of my go-to plants for evergreen displays, for ground cover, for underplanting other plants, for shady areas. They gradually kind of form a carpet that spreads out sideways over the course of time. And they do have a funny little habit as well. If they actually run along the ground and they come up against another shrub or a wall, they will start growing upright. And they, and they form these what's called these little adventitious roots, which are little kind of, you know, when you get ivy grow up things and it has those little sticky side roots, these will do that as well, and they start to sort of grow up and grip onto the wall. But normally they're kind of just a ground cover plant, not an upright plant.
And look at the difference that you've got in here. Look, you've got some that are all this yellow colour on here, and then you've got the variegation going on here. There's lots of interest going on with these plants. Of course, they are really tough, they're really hardy, they're super healthy and ready for you to plant in your garden. £18 saving on that one, £11.97. 511 547 is the item number. Get those added into your basket. You will get all 3 of those. That's £4 a pot for a really long-lived, perennial, hardy, easy to care for, just brilliant shrub for your gardening. Next, we're going to bring you on to some more amazing things. Really popular sort of larger plants from last week. Fatsia, which I just adore. Fatsia. Oh, here we go. He's going to underplant the Fatsia with the euonymus. Yeah, all right, I can see that. I can see why you do this one. 510428 is the item number for your Fatsia. Let's just check out that price, can we? The size of this plant, £14.99. We've taken £5 off there. I think even at 20 quid, that's an amazing, amazing price. Surely, Adam, this is an indoor plant. That's what it looks like.
Well, you can grow this as an indoor plant, and probably, the Victorians would have kind of treated this as an indoor plant because they didn't actually think it was that hardy. This is really, really hardy. You know, this is Fatsia japonica, or the sort of castor oil plant.
Look how shiny it is.
Yeah, and these leaves aren't as big as they're going to be yet.
No, once they get really big.
They do, yeah.
Head size.
Really dramatic size leaves, and then once this plant gets bigger, later in the summer into autumn, it sends out these great big spikes with fluffy balls of white flour on the end.
Yeah, they're super interesting.
Super interesting, and the late pollinating insects will thank you so much for those flowers as well, because they're absolutely full of. There they are. They're absolutely full of nectar.
Love them.
So this is a great plant again for shade. So like the euonymus that I've put at the base of these two kind of are a marriage made in heaven, really, because they will grow in those shady areas, those sort of darker, cooler areas. Fatsias are great for sort of dark corners or places like that. They make great statement plants in pots. They'll grow in pretty much most soils.
Clay soil too.
Yeah, clay soil. Yeah.
I got one growing in my clay soil. It's very, very happy. I know Adam, one of our regular viewers, who's also got clay soil. In fact, he was the one that told me, he's like, get a Fatsia because it grows really well.
Yeah, they're really, really. If you want to create a really dramatic statement plant, and the good thing as well, they give a kind of a jungly, tropical kind of look, but they're tough.
Yeah.
These aren't soft kind of plants that are going to struggle. I mean, they might sometimes, occasionally, when the first new leaves come out in the spring, if we get a late frost, the edge of the leaves might just get slightly kind of caught by the frost, but they grow through that really, really quickly. And the next set of leaves that come out, the leaves eventually kind of explode in like clusters of 5 or 6 from the middle, and the underside of the leaf, he's probably outgrown it now, but the really young leaves have like a kind of almost like a sort of a felt like kind of fuzziness underneath the leaf, which sort of protects them, and then eventually they grow right out and become these huge, dramatic, shiny leaves.
I love them.
Yeah, just a glorious plant. Again, I've planted lots and lots of these. Eventually, these can get 8, 9, 10, 12 foot tall. They can almost grow into like small sized trees, but you can take the loppers to them in sort of late spring, chop them down as far as you want, just above a leaf joint, and they send out loads of new shoots and just form another compact plant all over again.
So you can keep the plant under control. You don't need to worry about it getting out of hand. 510428 is the item number for the Fatsia. You've got a quarter off that one as well, a £5 saving, £14.99. And if you're part of our club, you'll get an extra 10% discount, and that works out at £13.49. If you'd like to get a lush, tropical, jungle feeling in your garden, but from a winter hardy plant, then Fatsia is one for you to add in. Now, the scent that keeps wafting in my direction at the moment is absolutely incredible, and that is, oh my word,
isn't that divine?
So pretty. This is our Tracheospurmum Star jasmine. Sorry, I'm just taking that scent in. It is so beautiful, the scent that you get from this. Of course, it's evergreen.
It is evergreen. Yeah, I mean, my old house in Bishopsthorpe, where I used to live, we grew one of these up the side of our front door, over the top of the front door and over the front window. I went past yesterday, it's still there. And in the summertime, well, now when it was flowering. Every time you
walk in and out.
Yeah, and we used to have the little window open. Oh, the fragrance used to come into the living room was, gorgeous. And it flowers for a long, long period of time. It flowers for a good 2 or 3 months with these really sweet, pure white flowers. It looks so good, contrasted against that luscious, shiny, evergreen foliage. And then in the autumn, these leaves, they turn red. In fact,
you get real bronzes and golden colours, so it doesn't drop them.
No, they don't drop.
It just turns these lovely shades of bronze,
bronze and red, and you think the leaves are going to fall, but they don't. And then next spring, as the weather warms up, the leaves gradually flush back to being that lovely, verdant, bright, shiny green again. This is a really tough, hardy shrub as well. It'll get through all our winters. It's very drought tolerant. It'll take full sun. It'll take a little bit of shade. It's quite a reasonably fast climber, not super fast. It's not like a clematis or a honeysuckle.
It's what I class this as more of one of the slower climbers. Which is a good thing for certain areas. But if you want something to cover an area really quickly, it's not the jasmine you want.
It's steady but constant, and it kind of spirals round. That's kind of how it grows. So if you give it a support, it'll spiral round that support, and they live for many, many years.
Ages,
You don't really need to do anything with them. You don't need to deadhead them. You don't really need to prune them. Just let them do their thing.
And feed.
Yeah, and just enjoy the evergreen foliage, enjoy the reddish bronze foliage in the autumn, but most of all, just enjoy those delectably scented flowers. Oh, they are lovely, aren't they?
I love it,
really
honestly. Nice. And we take them £5 off the price there as well. 550229 is the item number for the Tracheospermum Star Jasmine, just £14.99. If you've got something for it to climb up, then great. A fence, a trellis, an archway, a pergola, brilliant. But perhaps you want to consider going for our tower pot and the trellis to go with it. It is the perfect thing to buy if you want, if you've got a climbing plant. I have 5. I'm not boasting, I'm just letting you know. I've got 2 that have got my sweet peas growing in. I've got one that's got the Tracheospermum in, I've got the Star Jasmine, I've got one with the wisteria in, and the other one's got my Gloriosa Flame Lily, which is in the conservatory. I'm not ready to bring that outside yet. But anything that climbs works perfectly in here, and there's lots of other reasons to love this, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks brilliant just as it is, because some supports for plants are just dull. They're really boring, and when there's no plant, you don't even want to look at them. And also, some of them are quite sparse, so you find the plant is flailing around trying to grip onto something. There's not enough support there. These, because of these little oval patterns all the way down this, there's so much surface area for that plant to cling onto, and that means you can get that real solid 360 degree of foliage, of colour. It comes in 3 separate sections, so it'll arrive to you kind of like this in these 3 separate sections. You can just clip them on one at a time. You don't have to clip the whole thing together in one go if you don't want to. So if you're starting off with quite a small climber, for example, one of our little kind of smaller clematis that we do, you could put the bit on at the bottom first, get it up so high, clip the next bit on, and then clip the other bit on finally. But also what you can do with this, you can get a lot of plant in quite a small space, because this is going straight up at the moment, but you can train climbers that way round, laterally, horizontally.
Yeah.
And you could probably get 20, 30 foot of climb around that if you went round and round and round and round. And that way you've got all those stems breaking bud all the way along, giving you flowers, giving you foliage, and giving you that 360 degree of colour and interest.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's plastic as well. A UV stabilised, frost resistant, makes it lightweight, but also designed to last you for many, many years. Now, the price for 2 is $39.98. It's not, is it? It's $34.98. It was $39.98, but we've taken another £5 off there. So you can go for 1 if you only want 1. That's absolutely fine. $24.99. You'll get a 10% discount off that if you're in our club at $22.49. But if you want to get really good value, go for 2 of these, add 2 into your basket and use the code YGTV2524. You'll get your free gift, but you'll also get the saving off of everything that you put into your basket.
And hot off the press, you're also going to get a free bag of mystery bulbs included in your order as well. We don't know what they're going to be. It's a mystery bag. Who cares? It's free. And it'll be exciting when you get it. Like, ooh, what's this? I didn't know I was getting this. Right. Tomorrow we have... The boss is in the building. Our amazing head gardener, Peter McDermott, is going to be joining us in the potting shed.
I thought you meant Bruce Springsteen.
The boss, Bruce Springsteen. You do need to tune in just a little bit earlier, though, please. We are going to be starting at 9:30 tomorrow. He's got a tight schedule. I've also got to get to QVC tomorrow because I'm on at the 5 o'clock show tomorrow. So I do have to disappear as well. But yeah, 9:30 we're going to start. YGTV@yougarden.com if you've got any questions for our head gardener. It could be anything garden related. I mean, I'm sure he'll take any of your questions, but if you've got any garden-related questions, you've got a problem with something, you want the head gardener to answer those for you, send them in. Put as the title of the email, Head Gardener Questions. He'll answer those for you. Of course, Adam and I are still here for the next 10 minutes. We'll see if we can squeeze any questions in before then as well. But send your emails there. We're going to first of all talk about one of our head gardener's favourite products, and that is the Premium Professional Compost.
Yeah, it's not surprising, Bex, because this is a simple formulation, but it's just a brilliant formulation that has received so many 5-star reviews because it does exactly what it needs to do. It just grows plants in the most brilliant way. Whether it be cuttings, whether it be seedlings, whether it be seeds, whether it's house plants, whether it's just improving the soil generally in your garden, whether it's growing fruit or vegetables, this is a hugely peat-reduced compost, which is important, and eventually we'll all go peat-free. But what we've done, we've substituted the peat that we've taken out with that composted wood fibre. That does 3 critical things. It keeps the compost nice and open, lets the water percolate through so it doesn't become waterlogged, lets the air and the oxygen get down to the roots of the plants, and it allows that tiny little seed to get its root down into that soil and establish itself. And helping it do that is the slow release fertiliser in this that will feed it up to 6 months. Also helping it do that is the fact that this has got a what's the word? A water thingy to
a water butt water retention.
Well, yeah, the word's just gone out of my head. It's got a thing in it to help it absorb water. It's like a wetting agent.
Wetting agent.
That's
there
it.
We go. There we go.
Dear. Whew, that went straight. Yeah, it's got a wetting agent as well, so it makes this compost super absorbent. So it wants to hold on to the moisture and really kind of hydrate your plants for you. It's pH balancing, which means in simple terms it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline, so it's going to suit the vast majority of plants. And it is just a most incredible compost. 2 fabulous bags there, and as Stu, our producer, always says, the value is in the bag, not on the bag. It comes in plain bags because it's not going anywhere else except from our supplier to your doorstep.
Absolutely, and if you want to know how good this is, first of all, try it. That's the best way for you to understand how good it is. But also, if you're a little bit sceptical, go and have a little look on our website at the reviews that are there. Over the years, we've had thousands of reviews on these. These are just from the last couple of days. Good compost, strong bags, good value for money. Already got seed growing. Good service and very fast delivery. I love this compost. It's great for the plants, and I seem to get better results with it than with other brands. Marisha, I love this one. Amazing. I mean, it's simple, it's effective, and that's exactly the same as the compost as well. We are going to finish our time. I want to show Margaret's pictures, though, at some point, because bless her. Hi, Bex and Adam, just received an order, so busy afternoon. I have posted pictures, and I have strawberries. As you can see, everything is growing well. Margaret from Edinburgh. So even in Edinburgh, she is having a wonderful time. Sorry, that sounded so rude, didn't it? I just mean from the weather point of view. Scotland sometimes is a bit colder, isn't it, normally?
Although, weirdly, this year they've actually been milder and warmer.
I know, right?
Quite a lot of times than down
lovely.
Here.
Strawberries growing nicely. We've got the Euphoria, the Serrata,
there
pink
it is.
there. What have we got in here? Is
that
the
osteos?
That's the osteospermum, isn't it? Going there. And the perennial mix. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know, there's loads going on there. Love that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, check out those lilies in the centre there. Wow.
They're phenomenal, aren't they? Look at the colour of them.
I love all your little characters at the front. What are they called? They're called meerkats, that's the word, thank you. Oh, that looks really pretty. Love that.
Is that the Hypericum? No.
Where?
No, it's a hypericum, isn't it? It is a hypericum.
It
Some
is a
hypericums there,
hypericum.
yeah.
We've got us unbelievable going on over there, look. What's this at the back against the fence?
Oh,
Top right.
that looks like a cornice or a dogwood.
And that is a
Yeah.
hibiscus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looking good. Ooh, that looks an agapanthus growing in there, look.
Or is that one of those, it's not one of those things, is it, that's going to rub our nose in it? Like, you know, not one of those Peruvian lily things going over.
No. She might have had some of those, though.
Oh, it's an yeah.
Geranium. Got some dianthus in the back of the picture there. Got those lilies growing. That looks like a Torino pot. Is that fuchsia? It looks like a fuchsia in there. That's it. Thank you for sending those pictures, Margaret. You are doing incredibly well in your garden. It's lovely to see. Thank you.
So
really
a lot
appreciate
going on
it.
there, wasn't there?
Love it.
Only just past mid-June as well.
Love it. Right, let's talk about the last few things. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Erigeron, you've got a minute. Go.
Well, I mean, Erigerons are just marvellous, marvellous plants. In fact, they flower for month after month after month. And they're kind of weird plants in that when you grow this, you might actually think there's 2 or 3 varieties there, but there isn't. The flower colour changes as the flower matures. So they start off like that lovely pinky purple colour, and as they open out, they sort of fade off to this kind of whiter colour as well. And some are like a mix of both. This is a tough plant, a plant that will come up year after year after year. It will seed about, and it's a plant that grows in the most ridiculous poor soil. Where we grow these in our front garden at home, they've actually come up in the little 2mm gap between the wall of our bungalow and our actual drive. They've seeded them, so you couldn't ever plant anything down there. It's impossible. The little seeds have dropped down and they're flowering along the base of the wall. These lovely daisy-like flowers for month after month after month. They'll come up year after year. They're bone hardy. They grow on poor soils, stony soils, gravelly soils, sandy soils. Just fantastic plants.
Absolutely brilliant. 6-7 months worth of colour and very little that you need to do to these. They will spread, they'll form a lovely carpet, but you can trim it back as much as you want. You can hack it back. Not just prune it, hack it back. It will be absolutely fine. Super tough, super hardy. And you're getting 3 of those 9cm pots for £9.99. The next one is the lobelia, the Crystal Palace Blue. This is the royal blue, a rich, bright, gorgeous blue colour, like my shirt, basically. And you will get 20 of these garden-ready plants. $15.99 we've taken off there. It's just $9.99 for 20 of those plants, or $8.99 if you are in the club. Look at that canna just getting in on the action there.
That looks good as well.
Proper little photo bomb from the canna there.
That mix works well, doesn't it?
Trying
actually,
to steal the show. How dare you? We're coming to you next. Don't worry.
Those 2 colours look good.
They do look good together. Love lobelia. It's not just a filler. It is a thriller in its own right. I think.
All we're saying is give lobelia a chance.
Give lobelia a chance.
Because if you do, it will actually explode into the most amazing colour display in its own right. You don't have to use it as a filler between other things. Bex has grown it in a pot on its own. I've grown it in a pot on its own. And all summer long, right up into the autumn, in fact, you know, if we didn't have any frost, it would still be flowering at Christmas. It just endlessly provides these deep, deep blue flowers. You don't need to deadhead it. You don't even really need to feed it. If it's in a pot, you'll need to water it occasionally. But yeah, just magnificent. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And again, Bex and I personally thought it'd be great to mix these and the Erigeron together, because I think that mix could be really gorgeous.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice idea. £15.99, saving. Just $9.99, 20 of those garden-ready plants. You've got any gaps anywhere, definitely get those. But if you've got a couple of pots left over that you haven't put anything in, get those and plant those in them. I promise you it'll be one of the best displays that you plant this year. I really, really do. I did it last year and it was amazing. 410069 is the item number. Next up is the Canna Lily collection. Absolutely adore this. Look, you're going to get 3 different types included. That one at the front that's trying to steal the show with the yellow edges to it, the red gold flame. You've got 2 others. You've got the bronze scarlet and the bronze peach. Bronze is the foliage, scarlet and peach is the colours of the flowers, and it is a bright scarlet colour. Super tropical, super lush, aren't they?
Super tropical and hardy. There you go. That's a bit confusing, but yeah, got a lifetime guarantee. Got our snowflake symbol. These give drama from mid to late summer. These plants will get to about 1 metre tall eventually. They'll become multi-stemmed, and you'll just get, you know, a good 2 or 3 months of fabulous, intense, fiery, hot colours from these. 2 of them with this lovely, lovely chocolatey kind of bronze-coloured foliage. The other with green foliage. But even the leaf shape and size is quite dramatic. And how we've got this plant to do that much in that tiny pot is beyond me. But there you go. We're YouGarden. We can do these things.
Look at the flowers there, but look at how many flowers are going to appear. And of course, this will just keep flowering for you all summer long.
Keep going.
As they fade, new ones come through.
New ones come through. And, you know, plant them somewhere bright and sunny and warm. That's what they really, really like. They like moisture at the roots.
Against that blue as well.
Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it?
I'm trying to just work it. I mean, that's just gorgeous.
It's very royal, very regal.
Love it.
Yeah, looks very good.
Okay, so 450164 is the item number if you want to go for the Canna Lily collection. You will get all 3 of those varieties included in there. I think that's going to be gorgeous. I'm a bit tempted myself if I can find a space. Need a new house. We're going to move on next to the Helenium, the Moorheim Beauty. This is what you need in your garden if you want lovely late season colour.
Yeah, Robbie Williams likes these. He sang about them.
Helenium.
There you go, yeah. Tumbleweed. Right, yeah, these are great for, again, mid to late summer colour. So, again, like the cannas, for example, that give you colour right from midsummer into the autumn. These will do the same. Heleniums. Hot colours again, hot orangey sort of colour there.
Yeah, it's not a bright scarlet, is it? It's a lovely kind of orangey red colour to it.
Yeah, a really rich colour to it, a really strong colour. These are multi-branched plants. These are great for full sun, sort of a semi-sun. Get to sort of about 18 to 24 inches tall. Year on year, they'll form bigger and bigger clumps. Months and months of interest from these. The bees are going to love them. You could use these as cut flowers as well if you wanted to. Bone hardy will come up for you year after year after year. So yeah, a really, really great, well, a great selection all round today, I think, Bex, really, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
We've had
been
some
a
amazing ones, haven't
lovely
we?
selection. We'll find out tomorrow morning if our favourites table was correct or not, but we'll also be hearing from our head gardener in the morning as well. Peter is going to be joining us from 9:30 tomorrow morning. So please, if you can, just get your cup of tea made a little bit earlier. Just sit down at 9:30 to watch us. It'll be myself and Peter here. Thank you so much for your company today.
Thanks, Bex. I enjoyed it today.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's
been lovely. Adam's going to be back on Sunday.
Yeah, with yourself, Sunday?
Not with me on Sunday.
Oh,
it's going to be exciting on Sunday. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh.
Do get your questions in for the head gardener, please. ygtv@yougarden.com for the show that we'll be doing from 9:30 tomorrow morning. Email address is on the bottom of the screen. If you just put the title in saying head gardener questions, we will put those questions to you tomorrow. We've got loads of plants to bring in tomorrow. We've got some that you haven't seen so far today, so we'll be bringing those in tomorrow. And don't forget, with every single order that you place, you're going to get 2 free gifts in actual fact. The first free gift is your Rose Bloom Booster. So if you've got roses, this is fantastic. But you're also going to get a free bag of mystery bulbs included as well. So it's been lovely to have your company. Thanks so much for joining us. Come and see us again at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.